For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of when.
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Shea Stadium. The big story. Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
Do it. Do it. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Ooh, we got the teamwork to make the dream work. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home. What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets here, Rob. Today is the day to be excited if you're a Mets fan. Screw the negativity. Screw the trolls. It does not matter. You get excited. You celebrate a playoff berth, especially when you're a New York Mets fan. Hopefully everybody can hear me and everything sounds good. New mic. Hopefully it sounds a lot better. Let me know in the comments what if you guys can hear me and loud and clear, because that's the most important thing. Man, oh man. Just what the song, the 1986 Let's Go Mets Go song says, bring it home. The Mets can bring a playoff berth home. Will be one of 12 teams to fight it out for a World Series championship. You have to celebrate that. I don't care when people say, "Oh, you have to not celebrate a playoff berth because of the fact you still are in a division race." Of course, look, we'll be crazy to not think that you don't want to win the division. Of course we do. But the first time since 2016 the Mets can clinch a playoff berth, that's a big deal. You know, it just shows nowadays that the best team doesn't always win the World Series. So it doesn't matter if you're a wild card team, if you're a division winner, if you have the best record in baseball. That doesn't mean nothing. You know what matters? Making the playoffs and being the hot team at the right time. That's exactly why Mets fans should be excited. Don't listen to the people on Twitter. Don't listen to all the people that want to troll Mets fans and want to get on Mets fans and get on the organization, because this team is different. All right? They had a blunder against the Cubs. They have not played well over the last month. But when their backs were against the wall and they had to sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates, they came out and swept the Pittsburgh Pirates in those 4 games. It was, look, you can see the Phillies gave us no hope. No help at all. No help at all. You know, for all the Philly fans that were coming on the channel throughout the year, oh, we're going to catch first place. You want to get a wild card because you clearly didn't look like it against the Braves. Of course, the Phillies fall apart when the one team they actually played well against this year was the Braves. They played absolutely a joke. And they played bad. The offense didn't help. The defense was bad. The pitching was bad. Everything. So the Mets, with 14 games to go, got to take care of business on their own. And it starts tonight at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin against the Brewers. We got a tough matchup on the mound with Corbin Burns, but our boy Max Scherzer is back on the mound tonight, coming back off the IL. And if you're following Twitter, you check in Twitter, Anthony DiComo did say that don't expect Scherzer to go long in the game. Now, whatever that means inning-wise, we do know he's going to go at least 70 pitches. They don't think he's going to go much more than that. So it depends on if he has a couple of quick innings. That's why I put the poll. If you haven't voted yet, I think 6 innings was winning before I went live. I think it's going to come down to the pitch count. That's all they care about. He can go 7 innings and throw 70 pitches. I'd be happy. But let's be realistic. And if you're looking at 70 pitches, you know, Buck Showalter did say between 70 and 100 pitches. And Scherzer did say it was kind of more of the latter, you know, a little bit more of like 70, 75. So that's where I'm looking to go around 70 to 80 pitches tonight. Look, you want to win the division, but you also want Max Scherzer on the mound healthy. That's the most important thing. So there's no reason to push him. You know, Max Scherzer is going to do what Max Scherzer does. Give you a good outing, keep you in a ball game. And, you know, he's not going to go 100 pitches. He's not going to go 8 innings. And President, you just took the words out of my mouth. We got McGill back, which is very important because he's an extra arm in that bullpen that we desperately need. It helps to have Tyler McGill back. Having him healthy is a big, big, big help in that bullpen. Not just because some people don't trust the bullpen, but it is another quality arm and a guy that a lot of people think can be the bridge to Edwin Diaz in the 8th inning as well. Even though I still think you could put Seth Lugo there, but it depends on what happens in the next 14 games, who pitches really well. If McGill pitches better than everybody, he's the bridge to Diaz. That's the way it looks at it. You know, when I was at the Mets game the other night, me and a couple of guys in 515, we were talking about the postseason roster. You know, specifically the bench and the bullpen. Who's going to make it? You know, if David Peterson pitches well, you have to put him on the postseason roster in the bullpen instead of Joely Rodriguez. But Seth Lugo could pitch to lefties and righties, so you got to put him in. Is Trevor May going to make the postseason roster? Is Givens going to make the postseason roster? There's a lot of things. You remember, you can't have, I believe it's 26 players on the roster. So there's a lot to talk about with that. But at that moment, we'll worry about it then. I'll do a video based on the postseason roster of what I think, who to put on the roster and who not to put on the roster. Yeah, I don't trust Joely in the big spot, so I don't want him there. I honestly would rather go with Peterson, who came out of the bullpen once already and looked pretty good. I'm not going to, I'm not saying I trust Peterson 100%, but again, the way Buck Showalter works, he likes the guy that has done it before. And Joely Rodriguez has done it before in the bullpen. Peterson technically has not. McGill's another different story because in college, he was a reliever in college a lot. And I think he has the demeanor and the type of stuff to be an eighth inning guy. So that's a lot to look at. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a conversation about what I actually do besides just going to Mets games and posting on my community page about the pitchers. I am wearing the new hat that I got with the orange and blue Empire State Building, Empire State of Mind, because the first time since 2009, the Mets, the Yankees, the Jets, and the Giants all won on the same day. And New York fan, listen, you guys know I'm a Cowboys fan, so I did go to the Giants game, the Giants home opener. I didn't buy the ticket. My cousin, who is in the tri-state with family, had an extra ticket, and he asked me to go. So, you can't pass up a sporting opportunity to go to a game, especially football. Football is just an amazing atmosphere if you go to a game, no matter where you are. No, I was not wearing Giant stuff. I was wearing Met stuff. I'm not that type of person to wear a Cowboys shirt or jersey, knowing that the Cowboys are not playing. I hate that. So I'm not going to do that because I'm just a hypocrite if I do. So I don't do that. So, Ken, how are you, Ken? I know you were emailing me. Do you do YouTube anymore? Do you do streams anymore? It was a busy weekend. Again, family was in town. It was a busy weekend. I was doing a lot. But hey, listen, what can we do, right? Life is life, right? As you guys know, I do YouTube is not my career. So at least, yeah, if Ken would actually, get me more views, maybe we could talk about this being a career. But at the moment, YouTube is not my career as of yet, but it might be at some point. But listen. Oh, Ken, I wish. Listen, Ken, your loyalty should be my editing guy. I want you to come. I want you to sit right next to me and beat out all the trolls and, of course, the liberals that you like to talk about a lot. So it would be perfect. So with that said, I'm glad you guys are here. I do apologize about the lack of streaming over the last 4 to 5 days. Again, it's been crazy. It's been rough. I did go to a couple of games. So as you guys know, the Citi Field Wi-Fi doesn't work, and the networking just sucks at Citi Field. So the streaming is not quality that I like to provide you guys. During that actually fifth inning, again, if I can work it out and the service looks good, I will jump on, especially in the playoffs if I'm at the game. But again, don't worry, guys. If you look at my community page, I put the schedule for this week for Monday all the way until to Sunday, so you have an idea of when I'm coming on. It's not just a guessing game anymore. My schedule for work and everything else is kind of set in stone for a little while, so it's easier to set a schedule for YouTube. So the schedule is up. If you haven't looked at it, just go on my community page and check out the schedule. I won't be doing a stream tomorrow, but I will be doing a stream on Wednesday. I believe I'm doing a stream on Thursday. We're off, so I'm doing a Mets Talk Live. What else am I doing? I'm doing a lot. I know that. So it's about 5 or 6 streams, 5 streams during this week. So you're going to see a lot of me, and hopefully you keep on coming back for more. So once again, if you're new to the channel and you're a new subscriber, please say what's up and let me know where you're from. As you guys may or may not know, the game starts at 7:40 because it is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And on the mound is Corbin Burns for the Brewers and Max Scherzer coming off the IL for the Mets. I will go through the lineup, go through the pitching matchup, talk about that a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit more about why yesterday was so important for New York fans. Again, you guys know I'm not a Giants fan. I am a Cowboys fan, but it was so fun. Like I said, I'm a big Cowboys fan, and being at a Giants game, I can assure you, listen, deep in my heart, I wanted Baker Mayfield to win the game at the end of the game to put it to the Giants a little bit, but I did have my family who are Giant fans there. My cousin, my uncle, my aunt, they're all Giant fans. I wanted them, for them, I wanted them to win because we all know Monday night the Cowboys are going to beat them, baby. Sorry, Giant fans. Sorry, I got ahead of myself there, but I cheered for really good plays. Like there was a couple of defensive plays both teams made. Let's be honest, the quarterback play was absolutely atrocious. From both sides, the Giants and the Panthers, Mayfield and the Giants, man, yikes. I mean, can you please throw? I don't think I see one pass the entire game that was more than 20 yards. Like, oh my God, if I had to see another slant or another screen pass, oh my God, it was like Pee Wee football. But the important thing in football, all that matters is the W at the end. I think the Giants will come back to earth only because I don't think they're a very good team. I like their defense. They play hard defensively. Offensively, I don't know. If they played a competent quarterback either of the first 2 weeks, they wouldn't have stand a chance in those games. And that's just the honest truth. But 2-0 is 2-0. And I say that all the time. It doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. So the Giants ended up 2-0. And, my father is a Jets fan. What about the Jets coming back for, 30-17? And they came back and beat the Browns? That was pretty cool. And for all you Jet fans that are going through the misery of the debacle and the embarrassment of last week against the Ravens and with Saleh, keeping his receipts for all the people that talk bad about the Jets and the organization. But it was pretty cool that all four teams in the tri-state won on the same day. It was pretty cool. But let's get back to what's more important right now, and that is the New York Mets. Once again, if you're just tuning in, please don't forget to hit on that like button. We got 64 for Mets Pregame Live. That is awesome already. So, listen, it's an important day for us. Again, we might not win today, we might lose today, but to be in the anticipation of knowing that you're going to be in the playoffs, even if you lose the next 13 games, if you win today, that's important. Look, we know about the Mets history. We know about the Mets organization as a whole, 60 years of existence, not making the playoff more than 2 years in a row. It's important. And sustainability is what Steve Cohen talked about. Making the playoffs, and I say that all the time to Dodger fans, Braves fans, Yankee fans. I say it a lot. Just because you don't win the World Series every year, which is almost nearly impossible, like you probably never see a dynasty like the Yankees in the late 90s. It's just hard to do. And with championships and with teams, like 15 years ago, you can say the best two teams in the league, in the playoffs, are probably going to be the teams probably winning the World Series, one of them. But it's not like that. It's not like that anymore. And making the playoff berth is so much different now than it is 15 years ago, because anybody can win at any given moment. And I don't care what anybody says. Nobody wants to face the Mets and the Mets pitch in a short series, in any series. No doubt about it. And it's important to realize, the Braves fans are going to probably come. If the Mets are losing, they're going to come. They're going to troll. Don't let negativity get to you. Not right now. Because the fact of the matter is, when the Mets, once again, the backs against the wall, they turned it around. They had to sweep the Pirates. They lost opportunity to gain some games when the Braves weren't playing well on the West Coast trip against the Cubs. They got swept by them. They had the opportunity to gain 1, 2, maybe even 3 games. They could have been up 3 maybe going into the series against the Brewers. But you know what? Reality is, we got 14 games left. We're up by a game. The Braves have 2 games on hand on us. But with the off days in the next week, it comes back rather quickly. So I think by the end of the Oakland series, the Mets and the Braves have the same amount of games. So the Braves played the Nationals. I don't know what to expect. The Nationals have been playing a little bit better as of late with a couple of their call-ups. We'll see. We'll see. But all the Mets have to remember, the Mets control their own destiny. They're up a game. You keep winning, it doesn't matter what the Braves do. You know, if the Nationals can, knock off one game out of 3 games against the Braves, and the Mets find a way, the Brewers are fighting for a playoff spot. They 2 games behind the Phillies, who decided to not play baseball the last 3 or 4 days. The Brewers have a lot to play for. They can actually not make the playoffs. So they got a lot more to play for. And the Mets are playing for a division and trying to win a playoff berth today. And Steve Cohen is in the house at American Family Field in Milwaukee for the Mets, possibly clinching a playoff berth. And it is important. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. So, with that said, if you follow me on Twitter, TMWRNYM, that is my Twitter handle. Follow me. I posted on Twitter, and I put the tweet to Steve Cohen, and I said, if the Mets possibly have a chance to clinch the division on the road, Steve Cohen should open up Citi Field to watch that game at Citi Field on the big screen to celebrate a division title. Because as much as all the good feelings that we had this year, the retirement numbers of Keith Hernandez, of the surprise of the Willie Mays 24 getting retired by the Mets, the Old Timers Day, just the way this team plays, the new mentality, the Buck Showalter, no-nonsense type of team, this team that everybody loves, and just in general, the good vibes around the team. What a way to celebrate with family, friends at Citi Field. And let me tell you, if there's a watch party for a division, the Mets clinching a division title on the road, there's a watch party at Citi Field, it would be a packed house, no doubt about that. Too many people are asking for it, and I think Steve Cohen, every time the fans ask for it, he usually gets it done. And I wouldn't be surprised he does that. Open up a few concession stands, get some money more money in the pockets. Some people are already in the comments talking about Judge. We got to do what we got to do. But tonight, we got Max Scherzer back from the IL. We got Corbin Burns for the Brewers. Now, we got about 20 minutes until game time, so I'm going to share the screen. We're going to put up game day so we can talk a little bit about the pitching matchup and the lineup for the New York Mets. So just give me 1 second. Let me make it a little bit pleasing for you guys. 1 second. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty. So there we go. So as I've been saying, Max Scherzer on the mound, 9-4, 2.26 ERA with 153 strikeouts, going up against Corbin Burns, 2.97 ERA, 10-7 record with 219 strikeouts on the season. And we're going to look at the lineup in just a second. But once again, if you're following, of course, game day has to change on me once I was going to do the lineup. But what are we going to do? Live streaming, guys. That's what it's called. Max Scherzer, Buck Showalter said between 70 and 100. And then they asked Scherzer how many pitches. He said it's going to be closer to 70 than it is 100. So I'm thinking somewhere between 70 and 80. Innings, I don't know, because it really depends on quick innings. He might have a 20-pitch first inning. You never know. So I'm assuming if he gives us 5 innings, 6 innings, I'll take it. Get him out healthy. He's going to keep us in the ball game because he's Max Scherzer. So with that said, let's look at the Mets lineup for the possibility of clinching a playoff berth tonight on September 19th, 2022. Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Francisco Lindor playing shortstop, batting second. Jeff McNeil playing second base, batting third. Cleaning up, Pete Alonso playing first base. Daniel Vogelback, who has been a lot better as of late, DH and batting fifth. Mark Canner, left field, batting sixth. Tyler Naquin, right field, batting seventh. Eduardo Escobar, who is still red hot, batting eighth, playing third base. And thank God, Tomas Nido batting ninth and catching. And obviously, there is no Marte. He did practice a little bit and take a couple of swings. He's still feeling pain in that finger, in that non-disclosed fracture of his finger. still feeling, so we don't know when he's coming back yet. He was supposed to come back during his Brewer series, but obviously that's not going to happen. I think don't rush him. The Mets are still winning. Yes, we want Marte in the front part of that lineup, but I'd rather have him for the playoffs. If he's going to be ready in another week, let him wait and let him be 100% healthy. Let's not play games with that, because all you need is one swing of the bat and it hurts the finger, and now he's out for the playoffs. You don't want that. So this team can get it done and will get it done. So with that said, let's look at the Brewers lineup really quickly. Yelich leading off, playing left field. Adames shortstop, playing second. Tellez first base, batting third. Cleaning up, Renfroe right field. Wong second base, batting fifth. McCutchen DH at batting sixth. Peterson third base, batting seventh. Caratini, of that name, batting eighth. And catching and batting ninth. Mitchell center field, batting ninth. So that is your lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers against Max Scherzer. So with that said, let me just change it back over to the pregame, and let me see what's everybody saying in the chat. Let's see. Right field is Naquin. Michael, we don't have to sweep this series again, it really determines on what the Braves do, but again, the Mets have to just take care of business, right? That's what you just have to do. You're facing a team that took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, who are fighting to catch the Phillies for that third wild card spot. So they're a team, they're looking at the series probables. Scherzer, Carrasco, Walker for the 3-game series against Burns, TBA, and Hauser. So technically the Mets kind of have the pitching advantage. We'll see. But you know what? Sometimes you just never know when it comes to a game. That's why baseball is great. So let me just look at the comments really quick. And once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. 90 viewers right now in the pregame. So I'm expecting a big crowd tonight for the Mets' possible playoff berth clincher for tonight if they win. Let's see. My prediction is Mets clinching October 1 for the division. That would be what? Game 2 of the Braves series? That would be nice. Ghostway, what's up, baby? How you doing? Yeah, JL, exactly. Like, I don't expect the Brewers going to say, oh, the Mets, let them win. No, of course not. That's not going to happen. Listen, we'll see. Yeah, and let's be honest. The Brewers, I think, have the second most home runs in all the league behind the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. They hit a lot of home runs, so we got to be careful with that. Like I said, the Mets all year have been doing great winning series. And that's what they got to keep doing. And Joe and the lockout, we got to get that out early for sure. Let's see. You know what? That's basically what Alonso was doing, right? Batting 260, 270, 35 home runs. Like, what I think everybody kind of forgets with Aaron Judge, and let's talk about it a little bit. He had 2 home runs the other night or yesterday? Excuse me. 2 home runs away from Maris, 3 to break the record. Look, if anybody thinks that Aaron Judge is going to have another year like this year, let me know what you're smoking, because I want some, because it's not going to happen again. All right. I know Ken said about, the bandbox. All right. He might have had about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 home runs that might have got out of the, as I call it, the little league wall in right field. Even if it is 10, the guy can still hit 50 home runs with the best of them. So he could still do that. What I love about Aaron Judge more than the home runs, more than the RBIs, is the average. This guy, average, he can win the Triple Crown. I think he's only 1 decimal point away to being ahead in the Triple Crown. He can win the Triple Crown along with the home run record. Well, who people want to believe is the home run record. That's pretty cool, and that's why I like Aaron Judge more than the fact of the home runs and everything else like that. I like to see Aaron Judge because of that average. Look, putting another 300 average guy in this lineup is it's dangerous. And then having a guy that you can either bat behind or in front of Pete Alonso is just going to make it more dangerous. But who cares about next year and about Aaron Judge? We could talk about that all off season on Mets Talk Live and Hot Stove Live, right? I think it's very simple at this moment. what the Mets are looking to do, listen, people are going to kill, and you know what's going to happen. The Mets win tonight and clinch a playoff berth. You know the Mets are going to celebrate. Lindor said it as well. Scherzer said it, that when you make the playoffs, you celebrate. Plain and simple, that's what he said. If they celebrate, maybe a little bit of champagne, who cares? Don't let nobody knock you. Don't let nobody say, oh, look, the Mets act like they won the World Series. The Dodgers won the division. They've won, 9 out of the last 10 years? They celebrated like they won the World Series, right? So you enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. A playoff berth is, now this year, 12 teams make the playoffs. A few years ago, it was 6, it was 8, it was 12. It's important, and I think you have to enjoy it. And I think we will. And yeah, Ken, with Lindor, he still has those weird at-bats. Like, he can go 3 for 4, but that fourth at-bat will look terrible, and I don't know why. But, again, we can't knock him for the fact that he's having a great year. He's probably going to knock in 100 RBIs. He might even get to 28 to 30 home runs. Listen, look at his career stats, right? He's doing what his career stats say. So I can't knock Lindor. Again, he frustrates me sometimes, but he's played Gold Glove defense and shortstop. His average, I'd like a little bit more up, in the 270 range, but I'm not going to kill him for 255, 265 if that's what he ends up with around 30 home runs and almost probably 100 RBIs. So I'm not going to kill him for that. So, like I said, there's been so many people and players that come up, everybody in great teams and teams that could win a World Series, everybody has to contribute. And let's be honest, who hasn't contributed on this team? You know what I'm saying? Like, even Dom Smith, when they were about to send him down, he had that 4-hit game and a couple RBIs. Nick Plummer, all these guys that came up for 1, 2, maybe even a week, still did contribute to a win here or win there. It takes everybody. It takes your 40-man roster, and the Mets have definitely used a lot of their 40-man roster with the injuries at the rotation, with the bullpen injuries that they had. It was a revolving door for a little while, and the Mets still can hit that 100-win mark, which is very important. And like I said, 14 games to go. You go 500, you win 100 games. So, and with the Mets' rest of the schedule, I don't want to talk about easy schedule, but even if they go 3 games over 500, if they're 10 and what the hell? Geez, I can't count no more. What are they? 10 and 7, 10 and 4, whatever the hell it is. Need for Speed tomorrow. It's TBA. They don't know yet. But let's see, 14 games. If they go 10 and 4 or 9 and 5, that's over 100 wins. So the Mets got to take advantage of the situation that they have. They're a really good team that I think when they start bunching hits together, and a lot of guys are hot at the same time, especially with this team who is not a big home run hitting team, they put hits together, man, oh man, it's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. And that's the most important thing with this team. We all know that the power isn't necessarily, raging all across this lineup, but we know what the Mets do well. And the way the Mets win is to put hits together, get productive outs, get those sac flies, move the runner over. That's how the Mets won a lot of ball games early on, and that's how Mets have to continue to win, because you can't expect the 3-run home run, the grand slam, the 2-run home run. You just can't. Not with this Mets team. They've hit more than enough home runs lately when they needed them. But, again, we know what this team is. This team can't stay at the plate and start fishing for home runs because it's going to hurt them. And I think what was so important with this team is how they played offensively during the Pirate series. Yes, we had our home runs, but it wasn't easy for the Mets during that Pirate series offensively for the most part. But they had to struggle a little bit But when they needed that hit, they got it during the Pittsburgh series. And I think that's important. That they got the confidence of when they got runners on in a tight spot, they got the job done. I saw the Braves score just popped up. I saw it. Riley hit the home run. Again, I'm not expecting the Braves to lose here. So, again, I can't concern myself about the Braves because they're the ones looking up. The Mets are looking at the rearview mirror. The Mets take care of business. It doesn't matter what the Braves do. All the Mets do, 1, clinch a playoff berth, 2, take another day off the schedule. And that's all the Mets have to do. And you know what? The Braves had multiple opportunities in the last week to pass the Mets. The Mets got swept by the Cubs. The Mets haven't been playing well. They've been around the 500 team over the last month. The Braves have any opportunity for a month now to pass the Mets for, 1, 2, 3 games. But guess what? They didn't. So they're not invincible either. So they had opportunities this month, last month when they played us. Every time the Mets found a way to continue to either take back the lead right away or when they were tied, gain a game on them. That's what they do. And I think we all know there's a pretty good chance at this point that the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets division is going to come down to probably that 3-game series in Atlanta. I think we're all probably aware of that, depending on who's going to be leading or who's going to be up or it might be tied. Who knows? But it will be fun. I think if somebody would have came to you before the season says the Mets have a 1-game lead with 14 to play in the division, every Mets fan would take that. Not looking at the record, not looking at the season, just September 19th, 1 game up with 14 to play. Every Mets fan would have took that. Even the Braves fans probably would have took it. Considering, and not talking about records, just the Braves, if somebody would have said you're 1 game back of 15, 16 to play, you would take that as well. Considering you would say, all right, maybe the Mets, maybe the Phillies, somebody was playing really well this year. You would take that. And that's why I think people get a little bit ahead of themselves and kind of like get negative when you shouldn't be negative. Because of the fact, like when people were talking about 2 weeks ago or even a week ago, oh, the Mets are choking the division away. It's not a choke job. You're not choking away a division when you had, yes, a 10.5 game lead, but you had a 10.5 game lead at June 1st with 3.5 months of baseball to play. That's not a choke. If it takes the Braves 3 months, over 3 months to catch the Mets, it's not a choke. And if you win 100 games and you lose the division, you tip your cap to the team that took first place. And you go about your business and take care of business in the playoffs. Very simple. Just give me 1 second. I just got to fix my charger really quick. For some reason, it wasn't charging on me. That's annoying. All right. So we got about 6 minutes until game time. Just give me 1 second, guys. I just want to make sure. Cowboy, that was a nice win, even though we kind of made it interesting. Just give me 1 second, guys. Oh, there we go. My charger's working a little bit. Okay, good. That's all I care about. So, for some reason, sometimes my charger really gets a little hot. There we go. That's what I like to hear. I like when the noise pops up. That's important. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. People are, Braves fans, Mets fans are going to talk back and forth. It's just what we do, right? I mean, there's no mistake about it. It's just what we do. So I'm not going crazy like, oh, if the Braves win the division, Mets fans should be, putting their heads in the sand and forget about it. That's crazy. Even if the Braves lose the division and make the wild card, both of us are probably going to win 100 games. It's not like, do the Dodgers think that they choked last year because the Giants won 107 games and they won 106? No, that's crazy talk. They didn't think that. They didn't think that at all. So I think we have to forget about that and worry about what's more important. You're in the playoffs. No matter how you get there, it's a matter on how you finish. And that's what the Mets have to focus on. I think the Mets, the team is. The fans have to focus on that as well. Yeah, Steven, that's true, but it also took an historic run by the Braves to catch up to the Mets. It's not like the Mets were, 10 games under 500 the rest of the way since June. You know what I'm saying? They were playing 8, 9, 10 games over 500 the rest of the year. It's just that the Braves went on a historic run. Give them credit. But with all that historic run, they're still not in first place with less than 2 weeks to go. So, Bobby, 0% is just stupid. The Mets are in first place right now, so that's just not a smart comment, to be honest with you. Not trying to be rude, but that don't make sense. Why is it 0%? We got 14 games to go. The Braves have 16 by next week. They're going to have the same amount of games. It's, you know what? The Mets have probably over a 90% chance of winning the division, just like the Braves probably have an 89.5% chance of winning the division. It's that close. And at this point, until the Braves actually pass us and keep the lead more than 24 hours, they're not in first place right now. So they can keep on doing whatever they want. But if the Mets take care of business, it really doesn't matter. So we got about 2 minutes until game time. So make sure you hit on that like button now. We got close to 100 in the stream right now before the Mets game start. So I'm going to share my screen, put up game day, and get ready for Mets versus Brewers and game 1 of the series. Mets can clinch playoff berth with the win tonight, which is obviously important. The lineup and the pitching matchup is going up in 1 second. If I can find what the hell I did with it. All right, there we go. All right, so if you missed the lineup for the Mets and the pitching matchup, it's on the bottom of your screen scrolling. So as always, guys, I got a new mic. It's a pretty mic. It's right there. It's really nice. You can hear me very well. There's no issues with it, which was great. And when I put the volume up, let me know if you can hear the game and the comment, and Gary and Keith or Ron and whoever's there. So we'll yeah, I know there's a lot of games on, and it was crazy on Sunday with the games all bunched up together. But that's when you got football and baseball coinciding with each other, and important games for teams. So there you go, Ken. So like I said, guys, the game's gonna come on in a few seconds or in a minute or so. So make sure you let me know if you can hear it well. That's the most important thing. So here we go. Mets Brewers game 1. Mets can clinch the playoff berth with a win tonight. Brewers are trying to catch the Phillies for the last wild card spot with less than 2 weeks to go, guys. JL, I am a football fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. So here we go, guys. Listen up. Let me know in the comments if you can hear the TV call. Here we go.
Pretty much the same unit that's been out there.
How's it sound, guys?
Right field day off. They continue to work it back and slowly coming back from the groin injury. Tomas Nido red hot, so he'll make back-to-back starts behind the plate. That's coming off a 4-game sweep of the Pirates.
Game's about to start, guys. So remember, game day's up. Sound is on. And you can hear it perfect. I love it. Good. Let me shut up and let the real great best commentators in baseball do the work. So, once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Let me know where you're from, and let's go Mets. Merlin, how you doing, hon? Let's get it done, guys. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Mr. Met said hello, 93 and 55, by the way. I had to throw in Mr. Met now. I think that's only fair.
Also a gold glover back in 2014 when he was a Miami Marlin.
Good. You hear me loud and clear, and you hear the game loud and clear. That's more important, not me. The game.
Cagey today, talking about how the Mets would or would not celebrate if they clinch a postseason.
All right, first pitch coming. Here we go.
Postseason since 2016. They've got a chance to get there tonight. Brandon Nimmo leads off. Burns first. Fastball is in for a strike. 0-1.
Corbin relies on that cutter, but we understand that he's been using the changeup a lot more
What's up,
of
Christian?
late.
There is the off-speed pitch from Burns to get ahead on Nimmo 0-2.
Good sinking changeup right there, Gary.
Nimmo 5 for 13 with 5 walks in the series against Pittsburgh. Not swinging the bat great right now, but he had 3 hits yesterday.
Donovan, how you doing?
And drove in the go-ahead run in the 8th inning. 1-2 for Burns. And he runs that cutter low in 1-2. Well, he's developed that cutter 2 years ago. He was coming off a dreadful 2019 season. And when he started throwing the cutter in 2020, he became a star. And a great shortened season in 20, and then led
Come on,
the
Brandon.
National League in just about every important pitching category in 21.
Good eye, good eye.
Lays off another breaking ball that misses low and in, and it's 2-2.
That was a good breaking ball, and Brandon, again, has such a great knowledge of the strike zone. And he and Adil have the ability to check their swing. A lot of guys can't do that.
Two coming. And he goes to the changeup to strike out.
Strikeout. Nasty pitch. 1 out.
Well, this new changeup here that he's throwing makes it it's effective, particularly against left-handers, because he throws that cutter on the hands of the lefties inside, predominantly in, and that gives him an off-speed pitch with sink away. It's a good combination.
220 strikeouts now for Burns. He's averaged about 11 strikeouts.
Burns is
9
pitching
innings.
tonight.
Led the league in strikeouts last year. Does walk people. The series given up more home runs than in the past. That's been really his only change from a year ago. Just Lindor takes fastball for a strike.
Well, I'm sorry, Gary. As I mentioned in the open, his second half, he's 3-3 with an ERA 0-4 and 11 starts.
Oh,
The Mets have yet to figure him out. He's got a lifetime 1.71 ERA against the Mets, including the win.
Burns has been very good this year.
Brewers won in that series back in June.
This is his fifth appearance against the Mets in his career, 4th start.
And Lindor goes after the curveball. He misses a 1-2. Hopefully both getting more done. Well, that shouldn't be surprising. Remember last year, Burns started his season with 58 strikeouts before his first walk. He's a guy who blows people away, doesn't walk people. One of the best in the business. 1-2 coming.
Ooh,
And
just low.
just misses 2-2.
That's Alfonso Marquez behind the plate. Burns thought he had a strikeout there. It was a borderline knee-high pitch.
You know, you saw Caratini lift the glove. Every time I see a catcher lift the glove, I think, why would an umpire buy that? If he's lifting the glove, that means it's not a strike.
Yep.
And there's one way to frame a ball where you try and get your glove around it or under it to make it appear like a strike. But if you move the glove, basically you're telling the umpire it wasn't a strike.
And the catcher that catches the ball knows if it's a strike or not.
JL, I think
And
that's
if it's a strike,
very
then
possible.
just hold it up there.
2-2 to Lindor with McNeil on deck, full shift on against Francisco.
RM, I don't agree. You celebrate a playoff
The
berth.
full season for Burns. He's throwing the changeup only 10% of the time, but lately he's mixed it in more, trying to work against a lot of innings. He's thrown 100 or more pitches in 13 of his last
Come on,
16
Frankie.
starts.
11 pitches for Burns so far.
179 innings so far this year, which is more than he threw all of last year in his Cy Young season. 3-2 coming.
Lindor racks one right to the left fielder. Damn it. That sucks. Hit it hard. James, if it's the Brewers, so the Mets beat the Brewers, it's done. Again, guys, stop worrying about the Braves. The Mets only have to win. They win, they keep their lead.
They got to the league championship series in 2018, lost a 7-game series to the Dodgers. Each of the last 3 years, they've been knocked out early each time. The team that would eventually go on to win the World Series. Lost the wild card game to the Nationals in 19, wild card game to the Dodgers in 20, and the division series to the Braves last year. Here's Jeff McNeil, 0 for 2 out, nobody on. He takes the pitch, and it just misses for ball 1. Jeff coming off a day yesterday when he reached base 5 times on 2 hits and 3 walks. Only the second time in his career he had reached base 5 times in a game.
Oh, Jeff.
And I am hopeful that he becomes very comfortable and learns to love hitting in that 3-hole here.
With Starling Marte out, he's the natural choice to hit there with Lindor batting second. Marte's probably still another week away.
Still with the finger issue, KTU.
Being able to get back in the lineup, coming back from a broken finger. McNeil 3 hits and 10 career at bats against Burns, including a home run. And he pulls one foul.
Neil just fouled to the right side.
Jeff starts the day hitting a .320, third in the National League, 11 points behind Freddie Freeman, but just 2 behind Paul Goldschmidt for second. Goldschmidt's triple crown chances have faded as Aaron Judge's triple crown chances have been enhanced. Judge just 1 point off the batting lead coming tonight, leading by far in home runs and RBIs.
1-2 count to McNeil. 2 outs, 15 pitches for Burns.
On against McNeil with 2 strikes. And he pokes one the other way, but again, there's Yelich perfectly positioned.
Claimed the line. Look at that. All right, so the Mets did not get it done. A run in the first, 1-2-3. Going to the bottom of the first, no score. Scherzer coming on the mound for the Mets. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. 2 hard hit balls. Both Yelich was playing very close to the line. That, playing normal position. That's at least a base hit to left field, maybe even a double. And Lindor hit a rocket to left field as well, but both right at Yelich for Mets getting no runs in the top of the first. So here we go. Bottom of the first. Scherzer back on the mound. Let's see what Scherzer got coming off the IL. The Brewers, obviously, Yelich, Adames, Tellez is the 1-2-3 batters in the Brewers lineup. Once again, guys, if you missed the lineup for the Mets and the pitching matchup, it's scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Well, Escobar's batting 8th. For some reason, you know what? The bottom of the order has been doing some damage as of late, with Escobar and Nito, who's been hitting. I'm not going to mess with the bottom of the lineup, considering that they have been playing pretty well. Again, the middle of the lineup, I don't think it's that much of a big deal. Everybody's been hitting a little bit more. If the top of the lineup does their job and the bottom of the lineup continues to do well, it's going to be hard to beat us for sure. Scherzer will be Scherzer, but for how many innings? That's the key, right? The word was from Buck and Scherzer around between 70 and 100 pitches. It's probably closer to 70 to 80 pitches. So it depends on how quickly he gets out of innings. So here we go, bottom of the first. Yelich, Adames, Tellez for the Brewers.
Reds each have 30 home runs. Renfroe has 25. This is a home run hitting team, second in the National League in home runs. They lead the league in walks. They're very patient. They try to hit the ball.
All right, here we go. Let's get it done.
Well, here's the big guy, Big Max. Toyota number.
Be careful with this Brewers team. They like to swing at first pitches, and they hit a lot of home runs.
Scherzer's last big league outing was 16 days ago. He came out after 5 innings against the Nationals because of side discomfort.
Max. 2 fastballs, 2 strikes.
Christian Yelich's career has had 3 phases. He had his Marlins phase when he was a pretty good player. He had his first 2 years with the Brewers when he was an MVP caliber player, and then he's had 3 years since.
Try the curveball.
It's 1-2. In the 2 years, 18 and 19, when he finished first and second in the MVP, he had 80 home runs and an OPS over 1,000. In the 3 years since, 33 home runs and a 7.
And we got a little bit of a pitcher problem with SNY, and he strikes him out. There we go.
Scherzer has a strikeout to start his night.
1 out. SNY went out for a second. Blackout. I didn't see the swing and miss, but I heard it. And you guys heard it as well. Good start. Max being Max. It's amazing what he can do.
It looks like the Dodgers, too, are finally going to make some changes as far as Bellinger is concerned. He is just really fallen off a cliff.
He's been better this year, Steven. He seems to be a little bit more healthier this year.
After he came over from Tampa Bay, and he's having a spark coming down the stretch as the Brewers try to scramble for a postseason berth. 9-game hitting streak for Adames, hitting .394 with 13 RBIs in 9 games.
He's been red hot, and when the Mets played,
Got a high strike there. I'll take it.
June, Adames was off to a very slow start. But he's turned it on.
30 home runs, 92 driven in.
Curveball, foul. All right. Once again, guys, can you hear the call well? I just want to make sure.
Last Wednesday for Syracuse, he threw just 59 pitches in that outing with 3 2/3 innings. There was not much chance that he's going to go beyond 75 pitches today. So he needs to be pitch efficient if he's going to get his 200th win tonight.
2 strikeouts. There we go.
The first 2 hitters, high fastball to Adames. So
8 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Again, strikeouts are nice, but you don't want a lot of strikeouts. Strikeouts cause the pitch count to go up. But good start for Scherzer.
Yelich was up and away.
So 2 out and nobody on. Meanwhile, the Braves are playing the Nationals tonight, first of 3 in Atlanta. Austin Riley, a first-inning home run off Cody Abbott. And the Braves are up 1-0 as they play at the bottom of the second. It's Kyle Wright going for his 19th win for the Braves. 1 game behind the Mets and even in the loss column. Rowdy Tellez takes below the knees ball 1. Tellez 31 home runs this year. Last year for Toronto.
Sorry about the helicopter.
The Brewers version.
Sounds like City Field with the planes going over.
Who used to be a Brewer. It's like Vogelback left and they needed somebody to take over his uniform. Well, and there was Tellez.
Yeah, what do you think? The mean streets of Queens,
Sausage race.
What does that mean?
Don't ask me. Blink sausages.
Tellez is 27. He grew up with J.D. Davis in Elk Grove, California.
Manuel, don't say nothing.
Over on the right.
Italian, Polish, chorizo. All good eats.
All right, 3-1 count.
Sure, you had that Tellez 3-1. Hunter Renfroe is the on deck then. This is a grip it and rip it.
Yeah, he's a little bit taller. Sure, and pops it up. It might be a little bit of trouble. And he got it. All right. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Maxie Boy with only 13 pitches in the first inning. Not bad at all. So it's a good start for Max Scherzer. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Going to the top of the second. No score, guys. Once again, guys, I saw we have 54 likes with 114 in the stream. Please take a second and hit on that like button. Let's get this stream out to more Mets fans to hopefully celebrate a playoff berth today. And don't be a negative Nancy and not potentially celebrate a playoff berth. You got to remember, this time last year, since 2017, the Mets are basically done at this point, and we're only playing out the stretch, talking about who to fire, who not to sign, who to trade, who to trade for. Now we're not even talking about that. We're talking about pitching matchups. Who's going to be on the playoff roster? Bullpen, bench players. That's fun to talk about. Enjoy it, guys. I don't care what anybody says. It's a long season. You're one of 12 teams making the playoffs. It's a big deal. Look, the Mets are not even if they win today, they celebrate making a playoff berth. Doesn't mean they're gonna not play hard the next 13 and win a division. They know what's in front of them. They know what they have to do. Oh, the Burger King, no problem. Even though they're not paying me anything, but that's okay. What can we do, right? Take what we can. Get that Uber Eats with their $20 fees. So once again, guys, Mets versus Brewers live stream right here on Talking Mets at Rob. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If it is your first time here, let me know where you're from. And if you're a Mets fan or not a Mets fan, again, this channel welcomes fans of other teams, even though you might get beaten up in the chat a little bit, but that's okay, right? That's what sports fans do. Alonso on the first pitch. Sorry about that. Came on quickly.
Yesterday does again.
Here we go.
Fouls off the cutter from Burns.
267, 35 home runs, 115 RBIs for Pete Alonso. Very, very, very good year for the Polar Bear.
There, sweeper with velocity.
3 on the left side against Pete. And he takes that slider outside. It's 1-1.
I don't know about you, but they should fire Luis Rojas. Oh, right, they already did that. I'm sorry.
Longest streak of his career. That's got him to 115.
Yeah, the Brewers are a great name. Perfect name. Unfortunately, it's not Miller Park no more, which was even more fun to say. He drives when he breaks his bat, though. Damn it.
He puts it away 1 out.
I don't know. I think Pete heard what Ken talked about him, saying that he's probably the worst player on the team, and Pete's just very, very upset, and I think that's the problem. We can all blame Ken for that, by the way. Oh, they get Vogelback got a nice hand by the Brewer fans. All right, Vogie, let's go. Scott, thank you, buddy. From PA, I love it. Thank you so much for supporting. I appreciate it.
During their midweek games last week.
I think.
Oh, Burns is nasty. There's no doubt about that.
I like this park. I really do.
Well, like most retractable roof stadiums, it's nicer when it's open, which it is tonight. It's a gorgeous night. Temperature right around 70 degrees.
Nice
It's supposed
night.
to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
The day game on Wednesday. I'd have to roof open all 3 days.
You'll be going to Oakland.
No, Bogey.
You'll be flying back to New York.
To watch the games from Oakland, I'm sure.
Well, late at night.
Are you saying that you won't be staying up? That you'll be
I'll
DTR?
tell DPR. It's too late for me.
So you get up in the morning and you watch the game.
Cut through commercials. That's the biggie.
But you fast forward through like Ronnie's commentary.
I don't listen to the. Let's just put it that way.
You might get some fighters, you know, to the Vogelback. I mean, I'll tell you a secret. When I watch a game on a different network, when we're not working,
Right.
I will fast forward between pitches because it's not as
Really?
to hear what they're saying. But if I'm watching you, say you and Wayne doing a game, I'll always listen.
All right, full count for Vogie. Working the count.
Because that's part of the enjoyment of watching the game.
Well, I'm the same way when I watch on DVR. I do not fast.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, hopefully you guys like the hat.
Good. It feels so much better.
Forgive me for the sponsors, but
I'll show you the back of the hat in a
I got
second.
things to do when I get through the game.
I don't think you're their target audience anyway.
Vogelback ground ball should be an easy out. 2 outs.
He gets the toss.
All right, and of course,
Burns retired the first
pretty
foul.
cool.
You know, you're in a very different demographic than the target was to the advertiser.
Really?
No, I like hats too much.
25,
As you guys might know.
49, right? That's kind of where
Big
they
game,
get
big
your-
game.
you can reach
Absolutely.
out of that long time ago.
Well, the thing is, too, folks, when we do the broadcast, we go to commercial use.
All right, 2 outs. 25 pitches. Excuse me, for Burns. Mark Hanna.
So maybe when you're home, you'd like to see the commercials just to see what the average fan is
No, it's fine.
getting.
It's okay.
Cannon takes a fastball for a strike. Cannon's run up his hit by pitch count to 21, which is still 6 shy of his total from last year when he led the American League. That's now up to 102 after getting plumped 5 times in the last 2 days by the Pirates, the last one of which drew Alonso's ire.
Nice pitch.
5 minutes to 2.
Burns got a little cut on his fastball, so it runs away from righties and runs in to lefties. I mean, considering it probably is a cutter, the way he throws it.
because he was the right umpire.
It's definitely a two-seamer.
But he had a wide
But he
strike
probably
zone.
he puts a little Mariano cut on that.
A tight one for some others. Birds head 0-2 on Canna. And Park goes down
And
on
Canna
three
strikes
pitches.
out to end the inning. Mets go down in order for the second inning. No score in Milwaukee. Going to the bottom of the second. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. If you know, hopefully if you know if you're a Mets fan. If you're not a Mets fan, I don't know what to tell you. But the Mets can clinch a playoff berth tonight, which is cool for any team that makes the playoffs. It's obviously important. Can't win a championship if you don't make the playoffs. So that's why it's important and it's cool. Yeah, Ken, that's what Canna is. Like I said, Canna, if you look at his stats, career stats, he's playing well above his career stats in almost every facet of the game. Like, he was what? I think he's a 230, 240 hitter? You know, what is he batting? 260, 265? Well above his average. His home runs are around the same, but this is like his career year, considering that, like, when we got Canna, we were thinking he was an afterthought, considering we got Escobar and Marte. And Canna has been one of our, he's came through in a lot of big games this year. When the Mets were struggling, he was the one hitting, especially in Philadelphia the last time we were in Philly. So, you're going to have hot streaks. Look, if Canna's the one carrying this team, the Mets ain't doing nothing. It's just very simple. You know what I'm saying? No, James, the Mets can clinch a playoff berth tonight because the team that has to lose is the Brewers, and the Mets are facing them. So they knock 2 games off the playoff berth, just like that. The Braves is 2 games, but obviously they're not playing the Brewers. So the Mets beat the Brewers, the Braves win, the Mets win. Mets clinch, the Braves need 1 win to clinch a playoff berth with another Brewers loss. Yeah, Ken. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. I'm very honest with you guys when it comes to me knowing what I should know or should not know. All right, the bottom of the second, Scherzer on the mound. I'll tell you what I should know or don't know in a second. Scherzer's working fast, throwing a lot of strikes. 2 strikeouts in the first inning. 15 pitches with 2 strikes in the second with nobody out.
Red Sox last year before coming for a trade.
Cap injury is tough, boy, I tell you.
Scherzer ahead of him 0-2.
Strike 3. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Well, he's striking people out, but keeping the pitch count low, which is a sign of not throwing a lot of balls. Very simple.
Metsy defense need another game behind the plate, back to back. McNeil at second base.
McNeil.
Yes, Naquin out and right. That's going to be kind of musical chairs. Yorme, Naquin, and McNeil. They're going to kind of flip around a little bit.
It's Colton Wong, and he's late on a fastball for Scherzer.
Scherzer looking sharp, man.
On in his second year in Milwaukee.
Let's go.
Takes the pitch low and on.
Huh.
Well, the Yankees
I don't know. You know what? I like a lot of hats around the league. Some can be a little boring, but still. That's a shot, but it's a pop-up. That hit a lot better than it was, but 2 outs. Quick 2 outs.
Yankees and Mets play the Brewers back-to-back, and also playing the Pirates back-to-back. The Pirates stayed in New York, right? The Yankees this week. Now Andrew McCutcheon, former MVP, 2 RBIs away from 1,000.
Yeah, it is nice to see. Yeah, the way it looked, the way he hit it, it looked like he got that, all of that, but he did it.
5-time All-Star.
All right, 2 outs.
Next pitch up the way, ball 1, played Philadelphia last year. 27 home runs, 17 this year.
Come on, Max. just a little football. Since Monday Night Football, Bills and Titans 7-7. Two football games tonight as well.
Been pounding that strike zone with high velocity pitches. There's your first little changeup right there. With a strike from me.
Could have been a strike. Alfonso Marquez called it.
Yeah, but James, it's all about the Brewers though.
The outside corner of Anthony's.
For the Braves as well.
On against McCutcheon, 3 on the left side. And that fastball away, and now it's 3-1. Second time that Scherzer's fallen behind 3-1. He fell behind on Tellez down the flat.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't read it correctly. Yeah, the Mets win today and tomorrow. The Braves win today and tomorrow. The Braves clinch as well. 96. Okay. Orioles is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Brewers hat as well. I like the glove in the ball. And it's actually an M and a B if you didn't know that. A lowercase m, lowercase d.
3-2.
That's a shot. Might be in the gap. Nice play by Tyler Naquin. Woohoo! All right. Nice catch by Tyler Naquin. Got a little trouble with that ball with the lights, but made the catch and got out of the second inning. First hard hit ball against Scherzer, but no damage has been done. So with that said, Max Scherzer, 25 pitches through 2. Very nice pitch count. Again, he's going to pitch between 70 and 75 pitches. So wherever that takes him, the 5th inning, the 6th inning, which, I mean, it would be amazing if he could do 7 innings with 75 pitches. I doubt it. But give me 6 innings and keep the Mets in a bowl game, I'll take it. Well, James, it's both possible for sure. So, going to the top of the 3rd, no score so far, guys. So, I don't think anybody is shocked that it's not a lot of hitting going on with these two pitchers on the mound. Not really surprised by that. Brewers have good pitching throughout their rotation. They live on their starting pitching. That's how they win ball games, just as much as the Mets win ball games. The difference is the Brewers have a lot of 250 hitters, not a lot of great hitters in the lineup, but they got power, and they win with power, and they also win with pitching. And the Mets, a little opposite. They use their pitching as to do damage and to win ball games, and the Mets don't use power. They use productive outs. They use clutch hitting, bunching a lot of hits together. That's how the Mets win ball games. But it's going to come down to the pitching in this series, that's for sure. And 1 or 2 runs in a ball game might be the difference in a ball game for sure. Joe, I don't think maybe like on a 1 year. I mean, maybe if they know it's his last year, maybe they do it. Who knows? Hall of Famers, I think he's borderline. I don't know if he's there yet, but then again, what is the Hall of Fame anymore? It seems like they put anybody in nowadays. All right, Tyler Naquin lead off, top of the 3rd, no score.
The second leads off the top of the 3rd.
And you can see him dashing to the gap here on this line drive.
What I like about McCutcheon,
Can't really tell.
he's done it clean. He has a really, really good career.
Yep.
You can see his digression with the age.
Yeah,
It's fine.
to secure it, because the thing is, the ball
But you know what?
is slicing toward him.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they put him in the Hall of Fame, but I think he's borderline.
They didn't really see it. Of course, light placement is always an issue in these retractable roof stadiums. They tend to be at slightly different angles.
Come on, Tyler.
Outdoor stadium. Burns ahead 0-2. And he got
3 pitches, 3 strikes.
There's the 3rd strike.
He didn't take the bat off the shoulders. Joe, probably not.
13 batters.
I don't know if you guys saw the article, but there's a little bit of news coming out of the Mets organization that the Mets are willing to bring Beltran back. I don't know if it's in a coaching role or front office. I don't know, but there was some word about that. I forgot who wrote it, but it came out either today or yesterday.
And that's up from last year. Last year, 34 walks.
All right, Eduardo Escobar has been hot. See if he can do here batting 8 today.
It's Eduardo Escobar back in Milwaukee. He takes the pitch high for ball 1.
Another former Brewer on the Mets.
Last year with the Brewers.
Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
The first 2 years of
Come on, Eddie.
Burns' career here in Milwaukee, 2018 and 19.
Yeah, there you go.
62
There you go.
appearances and only 4 starts.
Regazzo wrote it.
After that, he became a starter, and that's when his career started taking off.
And they were grooming him to be a starter. They always talked about that, like during the postseason of 18 and 19.
Oh, that was a late strike for. Yeah, I think the problem nowadays with a lot of hitters is that they're so focused on what does he throw, what should I be looking for. I think you look fastball and adjust to breaking balls. That was the way I learned. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why they make it so weird. That might be a base hit. We'll see. Safe. All right, Eddie. Good hustle, baby. First hit for the Mets with a hustle infield hit for Escobar. There you go. Good job.
First batter reach on either side, an infield hit.
Oh, congrats, Ramon. Congrats. Healthy.
He gets down the line quick.
Baby, that's a baby boy. Awesome, man. Make him a Mets fan.
In that shift.
Just beat it out. Good hustle by Eddie. Good hustle. All right, Tomas Nido. I'm telling you guys, I want to see Nido in the lineup every day. I like Nido. He puts together way better at bats. Let's go. Do some damage. Come on, Tomas.
Yesterday that led to the winning run. Terrence Gore ran for him, stole the base, and came around to score.
You know, swinging at the first pitch seems like he always does that. Yeah, Joe, we talked about that. Escobar getting hot now. You know, we all thought that signing at the beginning of the year was huge for the Mets. We thought out of Marte and Canna, Escobar was going to be the best signing. You never know. Could be the difference maker in the playoffs.
This season is waning.
Oh, well, Ramon, you know what? Make it a Mets fan. Make him a Mets fan. Make it happen, buddy.
Escobar at first and one out. And Nido takes inside. Ball straight.
But you know what? Taking sports aside, as long as he's healthy, that's the most important thing. But make him a Mets fan.
Seems like Nido has a long bat.
Come on, Tomas. Let's go.
Else. A lot of guys use 34-inch, 34 and a half. This seems to be a lot longer.
How much longer than that can be used?
Well, 35.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
But not 35 ounces.
Well, unless you're Richie Allen, not anymore.
Come on, Tomas. Let's go. 37 pitches for Burns with one out in the top of the third with one on for the Mets. Ooh, nice pitch.
It's interesting. I was thinking about
absolutely more anytime.
The Mets decided to retire Willie Mays' numbers. He played on
let's go.
And they retired his number for more of the totality of his New York career with the Giants than with the Mets. Really the same thing with the Brewers retiring Aaron's number. So we're going to
double play ball.
Adames,
yes, it is. Damn. God, the Mets love the double plays. All right, so the Mets into double play there. No damage done on the Brewers' end. Mets are out of the inning. Top of the order will be back up for the Mets in the fourth, but going to the bottom of the third. No score for the Mets. The Mets do get on the board with a hit from Eduardo Escobar beating out an infield hit, but the Mets didn't do any damage there. Like I said, it seemed like, 1 or 2 runs could be the difference in the ball game here. Ramon, great question. Me and a couple of guys at the Mets game, the last in the Pittsburgh series, we talked about that we had a whole conversation for like an hour about the postseason roster. I think you can't pass up an opportunity to have a guy like Gore, who's a beast on the base path, when you need that stolen base, when you need a guy to score at second base, down a run or taking the lead. You know, he's got 3 championships. He was on championship teams. You know, he was crucial in all of them. Stealing bases, big key. I don't think people realize how many times a stolen base could be the difference of winning that game or losing that game in the playoffs. So I think Gore should be on the postseason roster. Yes, you might have to take off maybe a Nate Quinn. Maybe you might not put Ruff on the the postseason roster. I do also think it depends on who you play. You know, if you got a catcher who has a gun of an arm and a lot of pitchers in the rotation that got good pickoff moves or hold up runners well, maybe you want Gore in the postseason roster. It depends on who you play as well, but honestly, I think you need that speed, the threat of speed on a bench like that, because 9 out of 10 times this guy's going to steal a base when he's on base. So I think that's important. Yeah, it was the Red Sox. Yeah, exactly, Ramon, exactly. He was on the Braves, he was on the Nationals, and he was on the Dodgers. So, you know, there's a reason why he was on all three of those postseason rosters. So I think it's important. All right. Bottom of the third, no score. Scherzer on the mound. That is a hit. I think Nimmo is right there. All right, we got a hard hit ball right to Nimmo. 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out. I'll take it.
Steve, anything exciting happened on your moonlighting job yesterday? No. Just a normal run-of-the-mill game. I told you the Jets were going to reel off 16 straight, though. And it was, it was a dominating effort from start to finish. Let's put it that way. Did you miss me? We always miss you. Of course. No, I missed you guys for a while, and then I was happy that I was somewhere else. I heard that your partners might have gone a little bit crazy. I wish there was a camera on us that was recording when the Jets came back, because that was.
Oh, Max.
I don't think I've ever seen grown men react quite in that way. They're large grown men. They are large grown men. It made me feel better about my reaction. Felt like I was being very professional. Here, J.D. Flies went over to
should be 2 outs. And it is, all right.
A baseball report for us. Yeah, I do. Let's try and get this one in before the end of this happening with the way Scherzer's working. Obviously, Scherzer's been so impressive.
Quick 2 outs. 3 pitches, 2 outs. That's the way to keep that 75 pitch count low.
It's the intellect.
He gets about 35 pitches out of in the first 3 innings. Still got around 40 pitches to go. That's the way to get to the 7th inning, guys.
It's the opposite with Scherzer because of the ability to recall what worked, what didn't, and make adjustments. Apparently,
well, don't do like that other reporter that broke his leg or something like that. And his arm.
Player by player says, okay, here's
I think so too. Gore should be on the postseason roster.
Worked last time. This is what
can't hit a lick. But man, if you need that stolen base or that run in, he can get you there.
You talk to pitchers about their history with a player, they'll remember the big things. They'll remember giving up a home run. Scherzer remembers these minute details, such as a perfect 2-2 changeup that he fouled off. Why did he foul that pitch off? Is there something in the sequencing leading up to that pitch that I executed that we need to change in order to get him to swing through it the next time?
Nice pitch.
That's a lot of thought process.
Two strikes.
Sometimes, Steve, and Max is such a
exactly
competitor. Sometimes you got the hitter.
Oh yeah, he's been doing that for a while, all year. That's okay.
But this is why he's such
a
great pitcher, is that he has great recall. And that's important if you're
I got one better, Joe. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. After this pitch.
This is rookie Garrett Mitchell, who fouls one back.
How about this? The hell with the walk-off homer.
First round draft pick 2 years
walk
ago
off,
UCLA, just getting his feet
steal of home to win the World Series. Boom. Now that's exciting.
Great speed.
Yeah, Ramon, exactly. You could say the MVP of this Mets team struck him out. All right, there we go. 3 innings,
9 in a row retired by
no hits for the Brewers, with Max Scherzer having only 33 pitches through 3 innings. That's a good start. Oh, God. You're going to be the same person with Vogelback? Oh. Ken, you know your job. God. You're damn right I bashed Vogelback. Look, it took him a month and a half to actually get a hit. So, again, could we not talk about OPS? I see what he did. He was 1 for 30, 5? 2 for 37, wherever the hell he was. That wasn't productive at all. I was more mad at the fact that Buck kept on putting him 5th behind Pete Alonso when he was 1 for 35. That was more annoying. Like, listen, you're gonna live or die with your guys. There's no doubt about that, right? But, knowing that Vogelback couldn't hit a lick for about a month and he kept on keeping him fifth, I mean, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Again, Vogelback, look, we got him for power. I mean, listen, you shouldn't be a guy that weighs as much as he weighs and look for walks. I'm sorry. You just don't. Especially early on in games. If you want to – I agree, Dave. Listen, I bash Lindor just as much as I bash Vogelback. I think you should know that by now if you follow my channel. I kill everybody who's not performing. That's what sports fans do, right? We critique guys who are not playing well. But look at Lindor's year. He's having a year like the back of his baseball card. Can't kill that. Come on, Dave. That's cute. I mean, if you know me, clearly Dave doesn't, but what are you going to do when somebody doesn't pay attention? So Nimmo's leading off in the top of the fourth.
Nimmo takes a break ball strike as we start the fourth inning. Both pitchers have
I mean, he's talking about OPS for Vogelback. Like, that really matters with a guy that weighs 320 pounds. I mean, come on.
Nimmo struck out his first time up against
and he's killing Lindor, who's having a year like he has on the back of his baseball card. I don't know. That's kind of funny. I mean, yet Vogelback bats 220. Bye. Bye, Dave. Thank you for giving me views. I appreciate it.
Burns using both corners of the plate like he has, Gary. Just the time and lefties with that cutter in.
He's the one that bashes Lindor, but won't bash Vogelback. That'll make sense.
Change up for a lot of them early in the game.
I don't like 220 hitters. Put it that way.
Against left-hand hitters. Righties are hitting
Got Vogelback for power, not walks.
199. You get no benefit from a platoon split against Corbin Burns.
Come on, Brandon. 3-1. All right. Well, the bigger problem, Eric, it wasn't even just Vogelback during that slump, that mini slump that we had. It was a lot of guys. It was glaring because the guys you traded for to help this lineup wasn't doing their job. When Naquin was doing better than Vogelback and Ruff, that's a problem. Come on, Brandon. 3-1 count. Come on.
Checks the swing and takes a cutter for a strike. 3-2.
But what does on-base percentage do with a guy that can't do anything on the base path? That don't make no sense.
He's also got career high in hits and career high in RBI. Gary's having himself.
I see, Dave. You don't pay attention. Of course, I talk about Lindor when he's struggling. If you were here earlier, I bashed Lindor for the bad at-bats he had over the last week as well. Ground ball should be one out. Dave, you should be leaving. You don't love Lindor because you bash Lindor and give him credit to Vogelback, who is trash. Listen, Epler did not get Vogelback for taking walks. They got him for power, not for walks. So if you keep on bringing on-base percentage, you're not really knowing the real reason why Vogelback is on this team. To protect Pete Alonso, not to take walks and him to be a freaking doormat on the base path and be a brick wall that can't move. That's not what you want. I did dash. You don't listen. That's the problem. I can't help if you can't listen, Dave. You got a great last name, but you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
A lot of those Japanese cartoons that
I just don't get it. Stop giving credit for 220 hitters. I can't stand that.
The other way.
Oh, look, Lindor got a hit. I shouldn't have blocked David. Oh, man.
Right to Yelich this time. To Yelich on a hop.
Lindor is hitting to the back of his baseball field offensively. Vogelback is a one-dimensional complete player. I mean, come on. You're going to talk about on-base percentage, you're going to get blocked. I mean, we got enough guys that get on base. We need guys to drive in runs. Jesus Christ. God, can people – those are people that only care about stupid stats. Like, if you want to tell me Jeff McNeil on-base percentage, Mark Canha on-base percentage, Lindor, Marte's on-base percentage, great. We didn't get Vogelback to get on base. We get him to knock in the runs. He hasn't done that. He did it when he first came, and he started to do it a little bit in the last series.
Tries. This year
Other
he's
than
a
that,
much better job controlling the running
Lewis,
game.
what's up, buddy? All right, 1 out, 1 on. McNeil up.
He'll take the fastball strike. This year, only 5 steals in 9 tries.
That's what Lindor's got to do. I think Lindor's got to take better at bats like that. Level swing, that's what he's got to do.
Neal lined out to left his first time up. Yelich was playing him toward the line that time.
God, people fall in love with on base percentage with a guy who's a freaking brick wall on the base path. That makes no sense.
No shift on the infield against Joe.
Shimmy, anytime, buddy.
Last time they shifted the infield with 2 strikes. Jeff tried to go the other way to take advantage. But he wound up
I think
lining out
Dave
left
and
field.
what was it, Yippee? They need to like hang out.
Baseball,
Jesus.
who does a better job
Have a
of
beer about
surveying
on base.
the defense and try to find the holes than Jeff McNeil.
God, can you talk about Brandon Nimmo's on base percentage, which is more important than Vogelbach's? Oh, God. God, people can be stupid. All right, Jeff, come on.
Sinker misses and it's 1-1.
Look,
He's got a
in the 7th or 8th inning, when you're down a run or you need a base runner, on base is great for Vogelbach. But they didn't get him from on base. Come on, Jeff, let's go.
Lindor at first with 1 out. Alonso waiting on deck. 1 run is going to be very precious.
Cooper Rush,
in this game.
the better quarterback on Monday night against the Giants.
Cy Young Award winners going head to head. Braves
Come on,
just have
Jeff.
the 1 they lead, and that's 2-0. Good
Ooh, nice
change up
pitch.
by Burns, and it's 1-2.
Braves are winning 2-0
Travis Darno and RBI
in the bottom of the
single,
fourth.
the 4th for the second. And
Come on, Jeff, let's go. Base it.
now Burns up to the count on McNeil 1-2. Now they have the shift on with 2 strikes.
Good eye, good eye.
Cutter runs low and
Yeah,
in.
well,
It's
I don't think
2-2.
anybody expected the
It's
Nats to beat the
interesting
Braves
watching
in
the cutter from
Atlanta.
Burns. Sometimes it cuts more than others.
All right, they're playing the shift. The whole third base side is open
Yes.
for Jeff
I
McNeil with
think
2
he likes
strikes.
that tight cutter.
Alien, that's a great
Bigger
comment.
break to the right-hand hitter.
Lindor 16 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 5 times. He's not been doing much right.
Well, yeah, Ramon, I mean, but let's be honest. Good pitching usually beats good hitting in the playoffs.
Third situation.
That's how it goes, right? It's always a big spot in a game where you need a big strikeout or a double play. Happens.
A lot of the third base line for McNeil in this shift.
Good eye, Jeff. Good
Takes
eye.
it low and it's 3-2.
Well,
There's the
Joe,
4th
wouldn't that be
full count
fun?
for Burns, his second in this inning, so his pitch count building a little more than Scherzer's is. Scherzer really needs to keep his pitch count low. Coming off the IL.
All right, full count. Let's see if Nimmo's going to be running on the pitch.
That's for just 33 pitches over 3 innings.
Pretty sure Lindor will
I don't know what
be
to say, Ken.
put in motion.
Ken, you're supposed to be killing him. Let's go. Get him.
You got an immovable force against an irresistible object here, right? Burns a strikeout pitcher against McNeil who doesn't strike out. They do not run him in his foul.
All right, Jeff.
You know, it's
Stay on line. Oh, nice play by the ball boy. Nice diving catch. The Phillies should sign him. Good fundies.
the Brew Crew ball boy.
Nice catch.
Wow.
Good job.
So, keep it on the
Yeah,
infield.
face planted.
Well, we got a
Love
little
it.
chin sandwich there.
Save it run.
Yeah. Joe, let's not bring in Kenny Rogers. Walking the damn winning run.
Keep him smiling for a week.
I've never seen that before from a ball person.
Lindor was
Come on,
not
Jeff.
running on the first 3-2 pitch. He's running this time. And McNeil hits a ground ball pass.
Yeah,
It's
go,
gonna sneak
go,
through
go,
the
go.
base hit.
First and third, 1 out, baby.
Over the third.
Good call. Put it on the run.
Lindor in motion.
Yes.
McNeil able to hit it just past
Perfect.
the pitcher.
Come on.
And with the
All right, Pete, let's go.
Brewers infield moving around, Long couldn't quite get
Let's
to
go,
it. And
Mets.
the Mets have runners
Let's
at the
go,
corners with
Mets.
1 out.
Let's go, baby.
Ball wasn't hit that hard here. And Corbin,
Putting the runner in motion,
I thought was going to go up
kind of
with it.
split the defense. That's what happens with the shift, right?
You can't leave. Whenever a runner steals a base,
Let's go.
you can't leave your position as quickly as Long did there.
And again, that was Peterson, the third baseman,
Come on, Pete.
playing to the right of second base. He's the one who went to cover the bag, and that's what left the hole.
So you got a third baseman out of position.
That's the second time.
Yeah.
I don't
Ethan
understand why
happens.
they play it that
Come on,
way.
Pete, base it.
Twice that it's cost them.
You can't vacate that quickly.
So now first and third, one out.
Alonso's going to go the other way here. Ooh, he was going that way. Damn. Come on, Pete.
They had
This season, 43 for 149, 289, 13 home runs. I'll take it.
So the same thing true there. The third
Well,
baseman
JL,
going to cover. Maybe
we do that a lot this year. That's one thing we've been a lot into.
Peterson's played some second base in his career, hasn't he? He's never been a utility.
But he's a bigger guy. He's not, as nimble as
Got it.
Thomas is.
But my point is being a utility infielder, he should know not to vacate so quickly.
So take something away 1-1.
The Mets will take it.
You know what, Kemp? That was a good pitch to go at. He tried to go the other way with that pitch, so I'm not going to kill him on that one. He didn't take like a home run swing there. You can see he was trying to go the other way there.
You got the speed of Lindor in third. Good.
Pete's going to hit it to right field. I feel it.
First. They do not overshift, but they give a lot of the right side to Pete.
Come on, Pete. They're pitching you outside. They're not going inside. You got to take that ball the other way.
Alonso waving at that.
Bad pitch to swing at.
That's one thing
Yikes.
that Pete has been doing of late. Is that off-speed breaking ball.
Come on, Pete. Stay in there.
Flailing, let him go with one hand. They get him out in front. Pete's not clicking all cylinders right now.
Come on, Pete. You got to stay in there.
Well, Burns needs a strikeout, and Alonso needs to put the ball in play. First and third, one out. 1-2 coming. Yeah, high fly ball.
Hit it foul.
Down the left field line.
Boy, he hung that one inside.
Damn it. That was a hanger.
Inside.
Very, very out in front of that pitch.
Braves batted RBI single for Michael Harris, and they lead the Nats 3-0 in the fourth.
Met fans out there don't expect any help from the Nats. Just for you right here. Put your focus on your Mets.
Come on, Pete.
Again, the 1-2. Alonso tries.
Get out, baby. Yes, that's gone.
That is way
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Number 36
Yes.
to put the Mets on top,
Woo.
3-0.
That's what I'm talking about. 3-0 Mets, baby. He stood back on that slider, baby. Mets break the tie. 3-0 Mets in the fourth. Yes, baby. Woo, woo, woo. That was a shot.
After pulling a
Let's
breaking
go.
foul on the previous pitch, Alonso hits one out of sight
Woo-hoo.
to give the Mets a 3-0
Let's go.
lead in the fourth. 7 straight games with an RBI.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That was a shot. He was waiting for that curveball or that slider. Waiting for that slider.
Oh, I thought Burns was going to go back to the breaking ball. He tried to come inside with a sinker,
Was that a thing? Oh, it was. Nice.
and it's down but not in enough. And
Whew, he killed that.
stays
Crushed
so
it.
focused. I said he wasn't hitting on all cylinders.
That's what I'm talking
and
about,
he's
baby.
not, but he stays.
There you
right
go,
with
Pete.
His program. Pitcher makes a mistake and throws it into his wheelhouse. That's what he does.
And that's one he was entitled to watch.
Whew.
437 feet. Well back in that second deck in left field. And so the Mets 3 runs to the good now against one of the best pitchers
That
in baseball.
was a shot, guys.
23rd home run Burns
He did need
allowed
that.
this year.
Definitely needed that. All right, here comes the on base
Scherzer
percentage
has
guy.
himself a lead.
Since everybody wants to talk about that.
Get their big guy on the board. 46 home runs, 118.
And Trout.
He's
Remember,
at
Ken,
just
and
6
Trout.
RBI shy of the Mets club record.
Again, I'm not saying on base percentage is a bad stat. It's a great stat. But not for a guy you don't need on the base pad.
Obviously 4 from 40, which to me, that's up there. I mean, 40 home runs is It is the very nice, obviously.
Keith, I've got that as a changeup.
Okay, it might have been a changeup.
All right, so I knew it was a breaking ball. It looked like it moved a lot.
Miles an hour, which tells me that it was.
It definitely was a sink. It wasn't a cutter.
Right. And that's the pitch he's been using mostly against the lefties. But he threw one to Alonso after hanging.
That's Speller. Yes, he did. 3-0 Mets.
Right
Love it.
I question that call, particularly against Pete. If you're going to throw the sinker, throw the fastball, high velocity. The off-speed pitches to Pete is the curve ball.
63 pitches for Burns.
Slow breaking ball.
All right, good at bat so far for Bogey. Working the count. Trying to stay alive there.
Pitchers love their changeups in today's game.
Well, you mentioned it, Keith, that the big difference for Burns this year compared to his side.
Funny how Dave was killing Lindor. He gets a base hit.
7 home runs all season.
And Vogelback will probably ground out or
He certainly has.
take a walk.
Good one right there.
Or home run.
And a check swing tapper back to the mound.
There you go. Maybe you should beat it out. Oh, guess not. All right, 2 outs.
Burns knew that he had plenty of time to field this ball.
Joe, I have not gone to Miller Park yet. That's, I was looking on the schedule last month, thinking I might go out there this month or this series, but unfortunately I didn't.
I just think a poor pitch selection.
So if you missed it, Pete Alonso hit a 3-run homer in the 4th, giving the Mets a 3-0 lead. And Mark Hanna's up for 2 outs, 65 pitches. Should end the inning. And it does. All right, but not before Pete Alonso, 3-run bomb to left field, giving the Mets a 3-0 lead. And you know what? We could talk about Pete Alonso all we want, that he's been struggling, but he's hit a lot of big home runs this year. Got a lot of big RBIs. Listen, you don't hit over 100 RBIs, get over 100 RBIs, and have over 35 home runs, and think that you don't come up clutch. It's hard to hit over 100 RBIs and over 35 home runs and not get clutch hits. Lion, doesn't matter. Mets win. It doesn't help the Braves, so it doesn't matter. I don't really care about the Braves because it's all about the Mets. The Mets are in first place. The Mets are not trailing anybody. The Mets take care of business. That's one less game. The Braves have a chance to come back in the division. Again, I think we all know. I think it's obvious. It's probably going to come down to the last 3 games in Atlanta, depending on who's up. The way it's looking, the Mets seem like they don't give the lead away. And, congratulations to the Braves for being in first place for 24 hours. That meant something to the Braves fan, because when that happened, they trolled all 24 hours. And then Braves fans have been quiet once again. Again, you guys are going to beat the Nationals. We all know that. But, the Mets needed to win 4 in a row, and they did. Against Pittsburgh or not. You know what? The Braves better sweep the Nats, because if they don't, the Brewers are struggling right now, and they're trying to fight for a spot right now. And Burns, who's one of their better pitchers, you know what? Just is not getting it done, right? He was pitching well, and then gave up the 3-run bomb. They took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, but it really doesn't matter what the Braves do if the Mets take care of business. It's very simple math, making it harder than it is. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Mets. Scherzer on the mound, the bottom of the 4th, with just how many pitches? 34 pitches. Lion, and you're just not paying attention.
Change up foul is 1-1. Well, Showalter was fully cognizant coming into the ninth.
Well, JL, you should. That was an awesome year for the Braves.
Scott put it, though, there were a couple of impediments in his way. One was the fact that Max is on a pretty short tether tonight, coming off the injured list. And so it's a question about how deep he can go into the game. The other, Buck said, was that he's facing a pretty good opposite number in Corbin Burns. Well, Scherzer has done his part by throwing only 33 pitches in the first 3 innings, and then Alonso did his part to help backs out.
Nice pitch. Scherzer is on his game tonight. Another strikeout.
For his 5th strikeout. So
Again, I think too many Braves fans thinking that we're like bashing the Braves. We're not at all. Like, you know, it took the Braves to have an historic run since June 1st to get back into the division opportunity. Nobody's saying the Braves are a bad team. I mean, how can you? But the fact that the Braves fans, not all of you, some of you,
the difference is that he does feel like he's sticking with his
are continuing to think that the Mets are not a good team because a lot of you don't think so. It's funny because you finally win a series against the Mets and now all of a sudden the Braves are going to sweep the Mets. Again, it could happen, but the Mets can also sweep the Braves as well. Because remember, the 2 games that you won in Atlanta, Walker and Carrasco came out in the 2nd inning. Who knows how that game would have went if they weren't injured. You know, you took a lot of credit for that series when you barely faced anybody in them 2 games after that. Again, you did what you had to do. Wow, another strikeout. Jesus. 6 strikeouts, only 40 pitches. That's efficient.
So to make it 20 words or less, you just don't panic. And you just stay
well, Lion, you better hope you don't hit home runs because then we're really dangerous.
Really good. I was counting.
Listen, if Alonso continues to hit with power, look, the last thing any team wants to do when they face the Mets is the Mets score runs with a bunch of hits and with power. Then they're hard to beat. Joe, I don't know if the Nats have anything going. I think the Braves will get out of it. Yeah, I don't think anybody's worrying about a no-hitter because Scherzer ain't pitching more than 75 pitches. He's just coming off the IL. It's not happening, guys. Let's worry about the score.
Understands exactly what's going on here. He knows that he needs to throw strikes, to have quick innings, to have a chance to go deep enough to get the win. It's important to him. It's a hard into the shift. McNeil retreats. Has plenty of time.
All right, 3 outs.
That's a 2022 out and a 2023 hit.
43 pitches through 4 innings. No hits and no runs for the Brewers. Very, very nice start so far for Max Scherzer. Very efficient with his pitch count. Lion, you're on a Mets channel continuing to talk about the Mets. Who's worried about the Braves? All right, but that's fine though. But again, and in any other division except for the West, the Braves would be in first place, right? What's your point? The point is, you're still looking up, right? Your neck is hurting because you've been looking up all year at the Mets. As good as the Braves have been, they have not held first place for more than 24 hours. I mean, you guys are so focused on the Mets when all you should be worrying about is just beating the team that's in front of you. Again, the Mets fans are not worrying about the Mets or about the Braves. Why should we? We win, it's pointless, right? We knock another game off the schedule. And again, we'll see look, if the Braves win the division or the Mets win the division, does that mean that team that wins the division is going to win the World Series? No. You did. But let's be honest. We all know the Phillies aren't a good team. But you still have an under 500 record against good teams, right? Congratulations about losing to Seattle. Congratulations. You should have beat the Giants. You didn't. You still don't have a – look, I tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. The Braves don't win the division. It goes back to the fact that you didn't play well against good teams, over 500 and good teams. One game. And the Mets were beating you without DeGrom and now Scherzer until the last series. Judge Triple Crown? Very likely, man.
They go foul
3-0 Mets in the top of the fifth. Tyler Naquin leading off.
Bernie's up there in his chalet, and it used to be maybe he gets company up there. Maybe an odd sideline reporter would come up and visit. Go down a Bernie slide and see what that's like.
It is, but it's also coming down to the fact that the reason why the Mets are in first place, they have a better record against good teams, and they play better. Oh, that's nice play. Ooh, nasty play. Really Adamas. Nice play. Hey, Geraldo, how you doing?
I'm writing in. I'm so sorry. And I scribbled here. It's okay. Here's some white out. I was very excited. Yeah, no, you were. Very unlike you. Beautiful play here. Look at the backhand, as you nicely called. Strong throw across the diamond. And a big hang with him for making a nice play.
That was a nice play by Adamas that short.
Nobody on now. Escobar, who had an infield hit his first time up. First fastball, a good cut. So anyway, last month the Dodgers.
Ryan, exactly. Defending World Series champions, which means absolutely nothing this year. And I think too many fans, when they win the following year, think that means something this year when it doesn't. What did Acuna have to do with that World Championship? Absolutely nothing, right? Freddie Freeman, last time I checked, your first baseman is terrible right now. Right? You're winning despite your first baseman. Right? That's a good thing. You just lost Acuna, which is, I'm sorry, not Acuna, Albies, which is just freaking sad because you don't want to see anybody get hurt like that who bust his ass to get back. It didn't happen.
To partake of Bernie's slide, or do they have to put in padding first?
Yeah, Dominic Smith's still in the minors because he ran his mouth.
Our particular sideline reporter be brave enough to go up there and risk injury for the sake of our television show. You know what I would like to see.
Well, ball should be an out, and it is 2 outs.
I do know what you would like to see, Keith, and you guys know that I would risk it all, life and limb, just to bring you a little bit of joy, just a tad bit of joy.
I would love to see you get into a sausage and participate in the race.
What if I got into a sausage and went down the slide?
Then we would have to get another sideline reporter the next day. You know that.
I think right now the SNY General Counsel is on the phone with the American Family Field General
All right,
Counsel.
Tomas, 2 outs, nobody on in the fifth.
We need HR involved. That's a
Ground ball.
just
Ooh,
foul.
foul ball.
Barely missed. Excuse me, double.
And that was not an excuse me call by first base umpire Ramon De Jesus.
Rutgers.
And he should be. You gotta have a little Mendy Rudolph in you.
I don't know. That was foul?
Look at that. I love it. Yeah.
Well, Keith, I know you said that the Met fans should expect nothing from the Nationals. But
And yet,
They come back.
now it's called just
The Braves didn't
2
pass
runs
us.
to the top of the fifth. It's now Braves 4, Nationals 2.
why was that? Oh, yeah, you lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants.
That's why they play the games.
I mean, your
Again, you had an opportunity to pass the Mets, too, and you didn't.
You said you could describe
So I don't understand why you're taking credit. Why you're we know we lost them. Actually, we won the series against the Marlins and got swept by the Cubs. Know your competition. Come on.
1-1 to Nito, didn't do a double play his first time.
Dom gets a ring because he was on the roster at some point. Ooh, nasty
Chases
pitch.
that cutter. And it's 1-2.
Nito does have a long bat. And our discussion about Aaron's bat for kids was always the Louisville Slugger was.
Yeah, Ken, I kind of know that, but you know.
was Hank Aaron's model. And it had
I mean-
he used a 33-ounce bat, which is.
I don't know what to say.
light.
Rookie
And
back,
Nito
right
should-
on, and he
oh,
touched
that's a-
the one-handed.
Safe.
Almost lost the play, but he's able to recover. Boy, we've seen a lot of that the last few days. We saw it with the Pirates, and now with Wong, a Gold Glover, trying to one-hand those ground balls. Didn't cost him, though. 3-0.
All right, so 3-0 Mets going to the bottom of the fifth. Cody, not record. Again, I don't understand why people look at a piece of paper and says, wow, the Braves are better than the Mets on paper. But again, Why are people so concerned about who's better, the Mets or the Braves? Does it really matter? Who's better on paper? No. Because at the end of the day, Jacob deGrom is going up against Max Fried. Right? In game one, right? That's how it would look. I mean, I just don't understand the fact. The Braves weren't the best team last year, right? Nobody picked the Braves to win the World Series. They won the World Series. What does that really mean? Right? The Nationals, the last wildcard team, the last team you would think would win a World Series who couldn't even get past the first round, won the World Series. Doesn't matter who's the best team or who's better because it means absolutely nothing in the playoffs, right? It comes down to that one pitch, that one hit, that one stolen base, that one error. That's what it comes down to. It always happens in the playoffs, right? Right? The Dodgers were supposed to demolish the Braves. Everybody would have told you the Dodgers are better than the Braves. What happened? You beat the Dodgers, even when you made the World Series. The Astros are better than the Braves. The Braves won the World Series. That doesn't matter. Again, Cody, Lion, you guys can say the Braves are better than the Mets. It means absolutely nothing in the playoffs. That could be a possibility. Your second part of your comment is true. You could be better for a long time. But just because Will Harris is good this year doesn't mean 3 years down the line he's not going to be a bust, right? The same thing with Grissom, right? Look at Acuna.
You have to allow a base runner.
All right, bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Mets.
Out of the strike zone for ball one. 12 up and 12 down for Scherzer. With
I agree.
Strikeouts in his first
Also
start
had a good year.
16 days since his last big league start. It's like he's never left. Now the question is, how deep into the game can he go? How deep will they allow him to go? Working with a 3-0 lead in the fifth inning. Renfroe struck out 3 pitches his first time up.
I think Dave Kidman made a new account. Ken, do what you got to do. But you never hear me say the offense is missing a beat. See, I think you're putting words in my mouth. And I don't like that. I don't put words in your mouth. Don't put it in mine. I don't think you guys are listening. You see, people thinking I'm bashing the Braves when I'm not. But like Cody said, right? It doesn't matter. Who's better? Like if you're a Braves fan and focus so much on the Mets, another strikeout for 2-2, 3-2 for the count. Sorry.
Should have called tails.
No, Mr. Kingman, it's hilarious that you're actually. I mean, you got to be too old to be trolling on. Oh God, nice strikeout by.
French toast on the fastball from Scherzer. 6 strikeouts.
Again, Cody, why does that matter to me? That's what I don't understand. You keep on saying the Braves are better than the Mets. Great. But the better team always doesn't win, right? The Braves weren't better than the Dodgers. The Braves weren't better than the Astros. But they were in that series, and that's what matters.
Yesterday was DeGrom dominating
49 pitches in the fifth inning for Scherzer, and 1 out.
Today it's Scherzer dominating in the first 5 innings. He's got 7 strikeouts so far. The Mets now lead all of baseball with strikeouts. They came in today with 1,427. Leading the majors. They've been on quite a strikeout run yesterday, lately, including 20 yesterday. That's lifted out to left center field.
That might be gone? No.
Cannon's got plenty of room to make the catch.
The camera angle made it look like it was hit harder than it was.
As the NL East race heats up down the final stretch, get all the latest Mets updates from our baseball insiders.
Joe, yes. Of course. You know, children like to play, you know. What can you say?
Only on SN1.
If I have to hear on-base percentage one more time for Vogelback, it's like... So I guess Vogelback's a better player than Mike Trout because his on-base percentage is better.
Here Scherzer has retired the first 14. There's Abram McCutcheon. McCutcheon has the closest thing to a hit so far for the Brewers. He hit one at right center field, and Naquin sort of lost in the lights, but made a sliding catch on that end of the second.
Joe, hey, not hurting my feelings.
Fouls it back, and Scherzer's ahead 0-2.
I don't think Leroy, after the comment he made, I don't think it's going to happen, man. Roberto, what's up?
Two out and nobody on, and 2 to McCutcheon. 3 infielders on the left side against him. And the breaking ball struck him out.
Nice.
5 perfect innings.
Scherzer is pitching his ass off tonight.
On just 54 pitches.
Wow. I mean, you're the type of fan that only cares about an individual player and not about the team. And it's cute, but, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know, guys. What am I going to Yeah, Lion, well, you just proved my point. You see that should in your comment? Let's put it up there. Let me make it known for everybody. See that should? Yeah. See, should is the key, right? And you're not a better team than the Dodgers, but you beat them, right? And you can beat them in the playoffs. That's what I don't understand. Like, people talk about the better team. For all we know, the Cleveland Guardians can win the World Series, right? And they're probably the team that everybody thinks is not even going to have a chance. But let's talk about Max Scherzer, who is pitching very well with his 8 strikeout in 5 innings and only 55 pitches. I mean, coming off the IL, that's big time, especially a guy who's only going to pitch around 70, 75 pitches is probably going to get through the 6th, maybe even the 7th, which would be crazy. No, see, unfortunately, James, like some of you guys in the stream, is the fact that when somebody deserves credit, they get it. When they not playing well, they get criticized. And if you know me from before last year, as long as this channel is going, I criticize players when they're not playing well, including Lindor. I just started bashing Alonso for weeks now. The bad swings. The same thing that goes for Canna. Escobar, I killed for months. But people don't want to hear that. They only like to hear what they want to hear. I understand that. And the Mets keep on winning even when their offense was struggling. So it goes the same way, Lion. Nimmo hits a shot. Ooh, that should be a double. He's going to 3. Triple. Leadoff triple. Yes.
Brandon Nimmo off the center field. Thanks for his 7th triple of the year. And that's how the 6th inning begins.
Jade, I didn't bring up the Dodgers. The Braves fans did.
Should be a triple, not a double and an error.
The Braves fans saying the Braves are better than the Mets, which means absolutely nothing in the playoffs. The same reason why the Dodgers officially should have been better than the Braves, but they lost them, right? It works both ways.
Turns on the Jets.
Triple for Nimmo, leadoff triple. Good start, good start. Put some more runs on the board.
It is a triple for Nimmo.
What the Mets have struggled with is tacking on runs lately. They did it a little bit in the Pittsburgh series. They got to keep doing it, especially a team like the Brewers who can put runs on the board rather quickly.
Good cut.
Come on, Frankie.
Right there, right under it.
Lindor twice has driven the ball to left field tonight. First one was caught. Second one was a base hit.
Ken, I should make you a moderator, right?
McNeil followed with a hit and run single, and then Alonso lost one for a 3-run homer. And that's been all the scoring tonight. The other big story has been
Agreed,
the return
Jay.
of Max Scherzer, who has been perfect through 5 innings. And drama begins to build there. Moves his feet.
Grant, good call. 7 triples on the year for Nimmo. Top of the 6th, 3-0 Mets. Leadoff triple for Nimmo. Let's listen to the game.
Coming into the night. And a chance to add one here with Nimmo at third and nobody out. Lindor drives one toward the right field corner. That ball is down for a base hit.
RBI for Lindor.
Lindor to second. He's going to turn it flat for 3. And Lindor slides in safely.
Back-to-back triples.
Triples for
Yes.
Nimmo and Lindor. And it's 4-0
Let's go.
New York.
That's what I'm talking about.
How often in 2022 does a team put together back-to-back
Let's go.
triples?
Love it.
Got the changeup, stayed back. It was up, not away enough.
Back-to-back triples, RBI triple for Lindor.
I mean, he really turns it on here.
There you go, kid. Love it.
That's a 25
Avatar,
triples for the
Quebec.
season coming
All
in
right.
tonight. Now
Love
they
it.
get a back-to-back. Lindor's 5th triple of the year. And so it's now a 4-1
4-0
battle. The
Mets,
infield
6th
has to
inning.
stay in to face McNeil.
Let's go.
So they are roughing up Corbin Burns.
Infield is in for the Brewers, nobody out.
By Alonso in the 4th, back-to-back
And
triples
McNeil
by
is up.
Dibble and Lindor here in the 6th. And now McNeil takes a fastball outside for ball 1.
Jose, yes, sir. He's pitched well.
7 in his last start against the Cardinals
Lately,
through
so
107 pitches.
a little
He's
surprised
got
he
generally
has his pitches
very
up, but
deep
the
in
Mets
the
can be
game.
frustrating, especially working the count.
Curveball in the dirt. Caratini stops at 2-0.
This is a Met lineup that we've seen all year. And you folks home as well, that doesn't strike out. They put the ball in play.
Yeah, it sounded loud, Grant, for sure.
I think they frustrate pitchers.
I like this
out
new
there
microphone.
that
You can hear
don't have-
everything. Love it.
They don't have their put away stuff.
Grant, I can't wait to come to your bar, man. I'm going to have fun.
Day at the office.
Give your bartenders great tips.
2-0 to McNeil. And Jeff takes it low, and now it's 3-0. Burns, who hasn't walked a batter, finds himself in a pickle now. You got Alonso, who hit one 437 feet against him last time up standing on deck.
Grant, hell yeah.
Council that does not have anybody up as yet in the bullpen. He's used to Burns.
James,
giving
of
him at least
course.
100 pitches.
That's the truth.
And there's a strike 3-1. In fact, Burns has thrown 100 or more pitches in 13 of his last 16 starts.
I don't care if the 7 line is not going to Houston. I'm coming to Houston next year. I tell you that. Maybe World Series. Joe with the rum and coke.
3-1 to McNeil. And Jeff grounds one down to first. Runner holding. And Tellez makes the play. Lindor thought about.
Went out. Didn't get the job done there.
Began to retreat, but thought better of it. That's the first out of the inning. Let's check in with the studio. Maria Marino is a game break brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Maria.
Thank you. Braves at Nationals, top of the 5th. Braves up 4-2. Nats have runners on 2nd and 3rd. Kyle Wright gets Luis Garcia to ground out to 3rd, ending the inning. Braves still lead 4-2 in the 6th.
Oh, Ethan,
Gary?
that's tough. But it's kind of funny,
Here's
though.
Alonso, who broke the seal on
All right,
this game
Pete Alonso
before
with the 3-run home run
massive
earlier.
3-run homer, his 36th of the year. Now he's got a runner at 3rd with 1 out, trying to add to his RBI total of 118. And he takes one of the dirt and Caratini again with a good block. First pitch changeup. That's the pitch that Pete hit out of the ballpark his last time up. This time Burns even down. Pete is now driven
Oh,
up
Pete.
one in 7 straight games, the longest streak of his career. Now just 6 RBIs away from the Mets club record of 124. This guy's foul, and it's 1-1.
Sacrifice fly is all that's needed.
And he's pretty good at those. Pete's got 9 sacrifice flies this year, which ties him. for the
Lion, that's
most in the
looking good so
National
far.
League.
That's actually a good odds. Plus 143.
That's where they say get the fathers off the infield. Side that's 2-1.
It's interesting how the infield's all in except Tellez.
Oh,
is
Grant, that's lovely.
around
That
10
is
feet
awesome.
back. You see him on the right center of your screen. He's not in, and he's not a mobile guy.
That's why he's not as far in.
Got to be in. If he's not mobile, on a slow ground ball, Lindor with his speed is going to score.
Come on, Pete.
He's more worried about the hard ground ball. What? 2-2 for Alonso. Pulled it Vogelbach waiting on deck. That's now with 4 runs and 6 hits against Burns. Scherzer
Come on, Pete.
waits his next action in the dugout. 2-2 coming.
Good eye.
The is outside. It's 3-2.
Boy, way outside.
Listen,
too.
if I'm Burns, I'm not pitching to Pete here. Vogelback's up. It's a possible double play
Mentioned that
threat
Burns
right
has
there.
not been as effective since the All-Star break. 11 starts since the break, a 4.41 ERA. Not his norm.
Right, a 3-3 record.
Here he is, already having given up 4 earned runs tonight.
I'm almost thinking that he's being careful with Pete. With Vogelback's a double play guy.
And he strikes him out of the
Bad
cutter.
pitch.
Got Pete to chase one out of the strike zone. And that's a big second out for Burns. Just his 4th strikeout of the night.
That was the at-bat by Pete right there, where he had to be smarter than that. He wasn't pitching to him. He was looking to walk him. Pitching to him, but looking to walk him.
He asked the red ball outside, and the umpire says
Because
yes,
Vogelback's up the double play threat, Pete had to be smarter than that there. But you need a base hit here to get the 5th inning.
Back up and it's left to Vogelbach. He's been up twice and hit
Batting
2
282 with runners in scoring position. 2 home runs, 37
One
RBIs.
home here in the 6th. Lindor a long lead down the line at 3rd.
Well, I just gave him credit, right? Good numbers of runners in scoring position. But again, that's this year.
Peterson playing about 20 feet or so off the line. And
I mean, in his
Lindor
career,
loves to
excuse
take liberties in these situations. Maybe get in that pitcher's
Come on, Bogey.
sideline, coax the ball. That's at the knees. 1-1 to Vogelbach.
Like you see, in this spot, I don't mind a walk hit because you put an extra man on for your next hitter. Obviously, you want to hit, but a walk is not bad in this spot either. 4-0 Mets.
Wound up with the Pirates and then to the Mets. Tied with the cutter, and it's 2-1.
Well, they got the third baseman, Chase Peterson, way off the bag, and Lindor kind of having some fun down that line,
Come on, Bogey.
trying to get to rattle both. He's not rattling Birds, but he certainly got the attention of Victor Caratini, the catcher.
2-1 to Vogelbach. And he strokes one toward the gap in left center field.
Yes.
That's an extra
5-0.
base hit. Lindor is in to score. Vogelbach tiptoes to second. He's got an RBI double. The Mets' 3rd extra base
Let's
hit of the
go.
inning, and it's 5-0 New York.
Well, that helped the on-base percentage.
Vogelbach back in Milwaukee continues his hot hitting, his 57th run batted into the year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to cheer for Vogelbach at all. I'm sorry, guys. Hey,
I like it when
That's what
Vogelbach
he's
doesn't
supposed to
try
do.
pull.
He's gotta
Everyone
hit.
wants a pitcher's pinch on the outside corner, knee high, and that's what you do with it. And particularly with an RBI2 out where base hit.
flicked it to left
Big
center.
run. That
5-0
fifth run's
Mets in the
always a big
6th.
run.
Tacking on runs. So important.
And Caratini has to block another one. Well, you had
Why couldn't
runners third
Vogelbach
with
go on
nobody
that wild
out.
pitch?
And Burns was able to retire McNeil and Alonso without the run scoring, but then Vogelbach.
I think
picks
too
him
many
up with
people
2 outs.
focus
Vogelbach without
on
any
rooting for a
follow-through,
player
just
and not the
so
jersey.
strong
And I think that's a
with his
problem.
arms and shoulders. He just
Very
puts the
lucky,
bat.
Anthony. Very lucky.
Jay Cousins, who was just recalled today, is the first man up in the
Come on,
Brewers
Mark.
bullpen. And Canada takes one in tight. It's 2-0. That's got a couple of men on, but didn't score in the top of the 6th.
Maybe that was probably the big key. Maybe the hammy was affecting his hitting, and he couldn't get
Scherzer,
the little bit of rotation that he does get when he swings.
that counts against his pitch count. He accumulates steps on his Fitbit, that's for sure, but he's just keeping his arm, having to do any work.
That's like a caged animal.
Good to see Eric Chavez back with the team. He was away over the weekend, heading to a family matter
Come on,
with
Mark.
the Mets hitting coach.
Scherzer pacing in the dugout if you're not watching. as Scherzer does, like a pit bull.
Cannon struck out
the
and grounded
Hoagie
out
Bogey.
tonight, 0 for 2.
Gotta name a sandwich after him.
That's away 3-1. Cannon will have his reunion.
I don't know.
weekend
Prince Fielder
coming
has some
up.
giddy up.
And Chris Bassett will be returning to their old ponds, and Bassett will be pitching in that series.
Oh, Grant, that's awesome. What's in the sandwich? That's what I want to know.
It's Pat Murphy, the bench coach for the Brewers, getting on the phone. 3-1 coming, and that's ball
All right,
4.
another
First
walk.
walk of the night for Burns. So after giving up 3 extra base hits in the inning, Burns might be running out of gas at 100 pitches.
Well, Grant, gotta have the Hoagie Bogey with the TMWR, baby. Whatever concoction you want to put together for the TMWR, let's get it.
Cy Young Award winners has tilted
Don't worry, Grant.
completely in the favor
When I
of
get my
Scherzer.
if somehow
Scherzer
Houston
with 5
and the
perfect
Mets
innings.
play once again this year,
Burns with 5 runs
obviously
against
that would be a
pitcher.
World Series. All right, guys. So they're changing the pitcher, first and second, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The Mets are beating the Brewers. 5-0. There you go, Todd. So, Grant, if I get to your bar this year or next year, I'm definitely doing streams. Obviously not during the games because we'll be at the game. Obviously, if it's in Houston, but if it's before the game, maybe a pre-game, setting up the stream in the bar, that would be fun. Have a good time. So once again, guys, the Mets are leading 5-0 in the top of the 6th. If you look up at game day or you're listening in, Scherzer at the moment has a no-hitter going. Again, he's not pitching more than 75 pitches, so get the no-hitter out of your head for Scherzer. Team no-hitter, who knows? But again, we all know that Scherzer's not going the entire game. Again, it's more important to have him for the stretch into the playoffs than getting a no-hitter, right? It'd be cool, but again, that's not what we're doing. That's not the focus here. Ramon, probably New York, but I mean, the World Series tickets are not cheap. Let's see, Italian club. Let's see. All right, Grant, that'd be cool. Let's see. Country ham and prosciutto, spinach. Ooh, okay. I ain't gonna lie, that buttermilk basil aioli, yeah, I can mess with that. Can't mess. Smoked provolone. That's. Woo. It's funny. I had the provolone. I had prosciutto on the sandwich I had today. Okay. Hey, that's not a bad sandwich. I tell you that. That's worth eating. I tell you that. I think Bartolo will beat everybody. That guy, for some reason, just figures it out. Well, James, of course you don't. All right, so Burns is out of the game. Gave up 5 runs, all earned. Jake Cousins coming in for the Brewers, 4.5 ERA, 8 games. Inherited 1 of 3 runners that he faced. Here we go. First and second, 2 outs with Tyler Naquin up.
Originally drafted by the Nats in the 20th round of 2017. Tyler Naquin first to face him.
I agree, Anthony.
A slider, 0-1. So Nimmo and Lindor led off this inning with back-to-back triples. The last time the Mets had back-to-back triples, got to go back 12 years to 2010, when Jose Reyes and Jason Bay did it against the Braves in April of 2010. It's a pretty rare event.
2 strikes.
Nimmo and Lindor now have a dozen triples between them this year, and they put a back-to-back to start this 6th inning, helping to chase Burns, who leads after 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs so far.
Obviously, that was easy. That was Ventura.
100 pitches for the Brewers ace.
Come on, Tyler, base it.
Went off. The
Slowest base runner I've ever
series,
seen.
knowing that the Brewers starting pitching was a little bit dicey.
That's a good question.
With Freddie Peralta on the injured list, and with Brandon Woodruff not pitching in this series. But when you knock Burns out of the game and scored 5 against
Yeah, I don't know,
then
Joe.
you have a guy coming off the
A lot of
injured list
slow
tomorrow,
players.
and then their fourth starter Hauser on
Come on, Tyler,
Wednesday.
get it
You'll
done.
feel better about things. Naquin tries to hold, but he went around with a
Ah.
slider to his feet.
All right, so that ends the inning. Going to the bottom of the 6th, the Mets score 2 runs. 5-0 Mets. Max Scherzer working on a no-no through 5 innings. See what he can do in the 6th, still with a low pitch count. Again, get your mind out of the no-hitter for Scherzer alone. Again, team no-hitter, who knows? But, again, we all know the win is more important than a no-hitter. But it's pretty cool. So, once again, if you're just tuning in, don't forget to please hit on that like button. The Mets are winning 5-0. At the moment, I think the Braves are still winning 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th. The Nats are trying to make it a game, but is it really a game? Who knows? So, again, the Mets take care of business tonight. The Mets will still have their 1-game lead if the Braves win, with another game knocked off the schedule. Joseph, it would kind of be like 86 because at the time the Astros were in the National League, so would be a little different considering it would be a World Series situation if that happens. Piazza was slow, but I don't think he was the slowest. I mean, Brian Schneider, the Mets catcher, about 10 years ago, guys like that. Ramon, I mean, yeah, money-wise, of course, the Mets could get Aaron Judge. But, again, I don't like talking about that yet because at this point, if you're worried about who you're getting next year, you're not really giving a damn about this year. Wow, Grant, that's a great, I got to put it out there. That's, how do you even think of that? Yeah. 2 teams that came into the existence in 62. That's crazy. James, I said it earlier, Ventura, buddy. Yeah, that would be crazy. 60th anniversary for both teams making the World Series. That would be cool. That would be a story. But all they'll show is 86 NLCS. All right, here we go. 6th inning for Scherzer. No hits, no runs for the Brewers.
Fun facts. Well,
Todd, that's the old school in your father, man. I can't blame him on that.
Peterson takes a curveball outside. It's 1-1. Peterson hit the ball hard his first time up. Line down to Nimmo in center field. Peterson out his 3rd year at Milwaukee. Well-traveled player. 5 different teams. Started out with the Padres and then a lot of time with the Braves. With the shift against Peterson. Peterson, Caratini, and Mitchell, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters against Scherzer as the Mets bullpen begins to crank. And you knew this was going to happen, so the best that Scherzer can hope for probably is to finish off
Seth Lugo warming up in the bullpen.
And then hand it off to Seth Lugo.
Yes, the most important thing is to get Max in form. And for that Atlanta series at the end of the month.
Yeah, Todd Pat picked them up. Nice pitch. And Scherzer makes the catch.
He's doing it all.
You know what? Good job by the Guardians, man. They're playing so well. They're going to win that Central. Pretty cool.
Well, no one's there. There's no.
Yep, Anthony. I remember Top Hat picked him up, and Ventura was like, no. I was young. I wasn't even in high school yet. I think I was in junior high. Yeah. That was a fun game. I remember me and my dad going nuts.
16
all right, 1 out with 59 pitches. 6th inning. Wow.
And he takes the first pitch.
Talk about efficient.
Caratini flat out to left.
I don't know if Max is going to want to stay out there too long. He knows the bigger picture here. Number 1, today is the game. Number 2 is the playoffs. Come on.
It's been interesting watching Scherzer tonight. He's throwing his fastball on
Danny
more
again.
than we're accustomed to seeing.
Can you enjoy a Mets victory rather than an individual player?
Pitch count and try to get as much out of this outing as he can.
Well, don't forget, he hasn't pitched in a while as well. 15-day IL. And remember, Gary, the last 2
Yeah, that is a little shocking with their attendance down.
Remember, he wasn't getting his breaking stuff over.
Come on, Max.
that was a problem. I wonder if it was his oblique was bothering him.
Ground ball.
Lindor in the shift.
2 outs.
And throws out Caratini, 2 out.
He only has 63 pitches.
17 up, 17 down.
All right.
That's just continue to beat you in so many ways.
I agree, Alien. Guardian would sound
Their
cool.
defense is just outstanding. Their infield defense with Escobar, whether it's Bjornby or McNeil, Lindor.
Yeah, that logo is stupid. I agree.
The balls that he gets to,
They should have stole the New York Guardians from the XFL logo. That would have been a nice one.
Rookie center fielder Garrett Mitchell. And he swings
Nice
through a
pitch.
fastball, 0-1. For the season, Scherzer's thrown his fastball about 45% of the time. Tonight, 60%. So he has really leaned on number 1. And it's
Ramon now come off the IL. He's not pitching more than 75 pitches, guys. He's probably done after this inning.
1-1. Max trying for his 200th career victory. There are only 2 active players who won 200 or more. His former teammate Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke.
Roberto, they actually said that wrong.
8 strikeouts tonight. Scherzer's passed
You're talking about
the
Stern,
all-time
right?
West.
Not Epstein.
Now 13.
Stern.
Next man up
If
is
the Brewers win the
Jenkins,
World Series, he can get out of his contract.
11 behind him. 1-2 to Mitchell. And he just got
Oh,
a piece
just
of the changeup
almost struck him
immediately
out there.
at bat. Well, 67 pitches for Scherzer.
Come on, Max.
You have to bet this is going to be the end for him. Trying to finish off a perfect outing. 1-2 coming.
Got him.
Get out.
Yes.
Scherzer blows one by Mitchell. Side retired. 18
Let's
out.
go, baby. That's what I'm talking about right there. 18 up, 18 down for Max Scherzer, who is at 68 pitches, probably done for the night. Just shook Showalter's hands. He's done for the night. Mets can try to finish off the no-hitter. Wouldn't that be nice? Or, that other thing that we can talk about. The Bills, man, they're a good team. All right, once again, guys, the Mets. Max Scherzer, 6 shutout innings with 9 strikeouts in the game. No hits. Dominating performance coming off the IL. I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, this is probably Max Scherzer's best starts as a Met, which is insane to me, considering the fact that he's coming off the IL, which is, well, Seth Lugo was warming up, so Seth Lugo is going to come in. 6 perfect innings. Yes, it is. Again, it would be icing on the cake if it happens. That's pretty cool. But, again, you win today, you get a playoff berth, you clinch it. That's awesome. Obviously, that's the more important thing, is to win the game. So we will see what is going to Mets fanatic. They're not going to leave him in one more game. Again, you got to think long term here. Danny, I agree, 100%. Lugo has been looking better. He gave up a home run recently, a shot, but again, you can't kill him for that. Every pitcher leaves a hanger every now and then. Well, we all know Russo's a nutcase, so. A worthless Brewers team. Okay. I don't know about that. I don't know if their offense has been one of the better offenses in baseball since the second half. Like, come on. I mean, you just gave up 2 runs to the Nationals. You shouldn't have scored nothing, right? They shouldn't have scored nothing. Here we go, guys. Top of the 7th, 5-0 Mets.
90 fouls went off. Well, judging by the reaction when Max Scherzer came back to the dugout after the bottom of the 6th, it would appear as though he is done for the night.
And Scherzer is done for the night, guys. 6 innings, perfect for Max.
6 perfect innings, 68 pitches, but it looks like he's going to hand it off to the
Come on, Eddie.
bullpen for the 7th.
What a shame.
Escobar flares one foul. Well, there was a lot at stake already tonight. The Mets.
Yeah, he's been pitching bad in the second half.
For the first time in 6 years. Scherzer's in line for his 200th.
I mean, what's even more amazing about Scherzer tonight is that the Brewers scored a lot of runs in the Yankee series, so their offense was killing it lately. So to shut them down for a hot offensive team, yeah. Joe, I don't know. That's a good question.
It's about as big a smile as we have seen Max flash in a game in which he.
All right, let's tack on more runs. We always like more runs.
He's had to be terribly frustrated all year.
Come on, Eddie.
The IL twice.
Well, you can't beat perfection, right? I mean, he faced 18 batters, retired the ball, struck
They've
out
been
half
better
of them,
recently, Lion.
picked up
Come on.
right where
They've been
Rob
scoring a lot of runs.
Tried to lead off last.
Their pitching
lead off
has been
last
so-so.
night. Rob didn't get through the sixth inning unscathed, but Scherzer did. Well, foul off the left side. So think about what those two guys have done the last two nights.
Yeah, Grant, he's a great pitcher. We all know that.
22 strikeouts.
But we got the best of him today, who hasn't been
Rob
pitching.
retired 15 in a row. Scherzer retired 18 in a row. I mean, when you think about potential postseason matchups for this team against anybody, right? If it's the Padres or the Phillies or the Cardinals or the Braves or the Dodgers, whoever. That's it over the
Round
back.
ball,
That's a
base
fair
hit.
ball going down the
That
line.
should be a double.
Another extra base hit for the Mets.
All right.
They
Lead
had
off
three
double.
of them the last inning, and now
job.
Escobar pokes the double the other way.
Let's go.
And the Mets have the leadoff man on to the seventh.
Nice.
Escobar continues his
Love it.
streak since coming off the IL. 2 for 3 tonight. And good hitting, that's always music to my ears, Gary. When someone hits a pitch on the outside corner the other way.
So when you think about the postseason, this is what you think about. You think about the utter domination that those two guys are capable at the front of the rotation,
Right.
and then the quality that you have behind them with guys like Bassett, Carrasco, and Walker. No
Come on,
doubt.
Tomas.
Nito swings a miss to the slider, nothing in one.
And Buck said,
Good call,
look,
Danny. Good call.
they have to be
I did not know that. I wasn't sure, but
careful
that would be
with
cool.
Scherzer. They want him geared up and be ready for that.
That would be cool.
Atlanta series. If it could mean something, it looks like both teams aren't going to die.
I'll
They
take a
could
double
come down
bar
to that
key.
series for the division, and then going into the postseason, got to have Scherzer.
Scherzer will get one more start before the Braves series. It might be
Yeah.
in Oakland
Again,
on Sunday.
Escobar is up.
It could be
Tyler
against
McGill is warming up in the bullpen,
Miami
guys.
when they come home on Tuesday.
Might be his
Either
first
way, the start
appearance
after that would be against the Braves.
Since
Here's
the injury, out of the bullpen.
pleasant look. Tyler McGill at the
Oof.
bullpen as Nito strikes
That was
out. McGill
nasty.
was just activated today.
1 out.
He's been on the injured list for way too long.
That's yeah. He's been
And
killing
now
it,
Mets
Escobar.
repurposing
Hard outs.
him as a
Been
relief pitcher
clutch.
coming down the stretch and hopefully
I mean, this is the Escobar we thought we were going to get all year, to be
McGill
honest.
was such a bright spot for the Mets the first half of the season, filling in for the injured Grom.
I don't know, Lion. I mean, you know,
Making the opening day
sometimes you just have a second half like that. But I mean, he
start.
had
Be
good
quite a
stuff.
weapon out of the bullpen if
He just wasn't located, and maybe that's been the problem.
if his arm can recover.
But I'm not gonna lie, saying I've been sitting here watching Brewers baseball all year, so I don't know if it's the location issue. I mean, today's game it was location. Yeah, I'm not worried about a no hitter or a perfect game. The win is the important part, and you need Scherzer for the long stretch. You don't need him to pitch a perfect game.
Fences last time up.
You know, I think everybody, just think, guys, a perfect game still only gives you 1 win. So, you know, if the perfect game gave you 3 wins, I'll take it. But
Alonso's 3-run homer provided the hardest hit ball of the night.
we don't want a Johan Santana situation, guys, with Scherzer.
Slider down from Cousins, 1-2.
Fausto,
Tyler McGill
it's been
last
special
pitch against the Brewers.
so far.
Shooting the 16th. So it's been more than 3 months
A lot more
since Tyler was in a game.
big games, hopefully, in the future for us. Come on, Brandon.
Big
just outside.
And ironically enough, when the Mets threw that combined no-hitter back in April against the Phillies, it was McGill who began the no-hitter. Tonight, they'll be coming in trying to continue one. Side and them also after Cousins got ahead of 1-2, Brandon works the count full. Imagine that. Being a part of two of them. Amazing. You know, there's never been a combined perfect game in Major League history.
Gary Cohen just said it, so that was a good call by Danny there, giving the answer about a combined perfect game.
Combined perfect game.
That's a good call there.
0-4,
4, nice at that.
We'll have to get it down to count 0-2. Gets aboard with a walk. So Brandon's on base for the second time tonight. And the pitching coach, Chris Hook, will go to the mound.
Ryan,
No, it was April the 29th.
that's not necessarily true
Second
because they
in
do
franchise
produce
history.
runs.
Tyler McGill started
And
Drew Smith, Joey Rodriguez, Seth Lugo,
they do.
and Edwin Diaz.
You know, just don't look at the last month and think they can't.
159 pitches, which made it a little unusual.
Yeah, I think Braves fans and Mets fans can.
So
Hopefully, the Yankees
franchise
lose in
had
the first round. That would be
no-hitter
sweet
in
for
their
all of us.
history
It would be fun.
before this season. Now is a chance for a second one this year.
All right, first and second, 1 out.
For one.
Francisco Lindor coming up, 5-0 Mets.
Come back off the injured list. And for a
All right,
perfect
8 years old in 2003.
18 up and 18 down in his first start back.
Fanatic, that's true.
Piece of great news for this team.
And we're all talking about what's going on in the game. So,
Triple tonight.
no, Gary Cohen jinxes us when he says
2 runs is driven in one.
this opponent against the Mets hasn't hit a home run this year. Boom, home run.
Game for Lindor.
That's what he does. You know, if everybody was when you listen to the Santana game, Gary Cohen talked about the no-hitter a couple of times, so he wasn't afraid to say it. Come on, Frankie.
That's driven out to left field. Chasing
Get out.
Yelich back to the warning track. He
Oh,
makes the
wow.
catch. Lindor making a bid to the
You know, I don't know
opposite
if it's the
field,
camera
Yelich
angle
will track it down
or
for the
what,
second
but
out.
when they show it, it looks like them balls are hit
It's good
farther
to
and
see
farther
Lindor
than they
on
actually
left
are.
field.
3 at bats. 4
I mean,
at
that
bats,
was
excuse me, 3 to
one
left
in track
field,
power to left field.
pull down the right
Like,
field
that looked
line.
like he was gone when he first did it. Yeah, Cleveland is a dangerous team for the Yankees. They got some good pitching.
Right under. It was a breaking ball.
Well, we know Cole is going to give up home runs in the playoffs. We already know that. Montas is hurt right now, so who knows? Tyone's a joke. Cortez, I like Cortez. He's a gamer, so, and that's the only real pitcher they actually have in that rotation. And Severino chokes in the playoffs like he always does, and that's if he's healthy.
But I think these stints on the IL actually have agreed with him. He came back off the IL the last time after missing 7 weeks, and in his 11 starts, he had a 2.1 ERA.
And Yankee fans are going to get a rude awakening when they face Cleveland in the first round. If Cleveland gets past that wild card round.
He'd like to pitch 33 starts a year and then make 7 more starts.
Cole hasn't looked good all year.
Maybe this is better for him in the long run.
And I think maybe he would like to be in the
All right, 2-0 count coming to McNeil. First and second, 2 outs.
I think he really enjoyed winning a World Series 3 years ago. Fell a little short of that goal last year when he could not answer the bell in the LCS, which I think was a cautionary note for everybody before he signed his contract with the Mets. But other than the oblique injuries, he has been fabulous. McNeil on the back foot slider.
All right, 3-1 count to McNeil. Fanatic, I was the same way. Everybody was sleeping. For some reason, everybody was just tired, and then I'm here screaming my lungs out. Like, shut up, Gary, shut up.
Max with his 6 scoreless innings tonight lowered his ERA at 2.15. He doesn't have enough innings to qualify, but if he did, he would be leading the league. He'll shoot one foul. It's 3-2.
All right, it's a full count. Runners will be going on the pitch. Base hit will definitely score a run. Anything in the gap will score 2.
It's 5th complete game. I think there have been 19 complete games in the big leagues, and he has 5. Something like that.
Yep.
Top contender for the Cy Young. Leo Urias in LA certainly will get consideration. Runners go on 3-2, and McNeil bounces
Run it out.
Thomas and one hands it on the run.
Alrighty, the Mets do not score in the 7th. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Tyler McGill is coming in for his first relief appearance of the year. See what the man has got. Again, we all remember him pitching opening day when Max Scherzer couldn't go. And you know what? If this guy's healthy, we know he's got the stuff. He's got the demeanor to be a big-time piece in the bullpen. Again, a lot of people are like, oh, don't worry. We didn't get any bullpen help. McGill can be the key. Peterson can be the key. Absolutely. Stuff-wise, yes. But it's a whole different ball game when you're coming in the 7th or 8th inning with a 1-run lead in the playoffs. It's a totally different ball game. And until those guys do it, you don't know. Same thing that goes for Aaron Diaz. As good as he's been this year, never pitched in the playoffs, so we don't know. You know, you can say that with a lot of players. You know, some rise to the occasion, some do not. But going to the bottom of the 7th, 5-0 Mets. Once again, guys, we got 180 in the stream. Don't forget to please hit on that like button if you take a second. I know a lot of you guys are football fans, so there was a gruesome injury. One of the Bills players. Hopefully, you'll be okay. Let's hope he's okay. That's important because I'm watching the Bills game on the tablet, so going back and forth here, looking at that. So in the Fausto, everybody knows I cannot stand McCann. I don't like him. I think he's just a waste. You know, he got a great arm behind the plate, but he's not. He needs to be a Gold Glove catcher behind the plate. To me, to see him play every day, he's not good enough defensively to put him in the playoffs every game. The problem with that is that Chris Bassett pitches better with James McCann behind the plate and Nito. So Nito and McCann are going to get playing time in the playoffs. I want Nito to catch more. When Bassett pitches, you want to throw McCann out there? Fine. But Nito, I wanted because I think Nito puts together better at bats than James McCann, and it's a fact. And here we go. Bottom of the 7th, Tyler McGill on the mound for the Mets in his first appearance as a reliever. Let's see what he does. 5-0 Mets.
Got boxed around a little bit his last couple of outings.
Come on, Tyler. Let's go.
It'll be fascinating to see if he can hit the ground running now in his first big league outing since the middle of June. Out with a strained right shoulder. He'll face the top of
the order for the Brewers.
Brewers not had a base runner tonight as we start the bottom of the 7th. Christian Yelich takes the curveball for a strike, 0-1.
First pitch he throws out of the chute. Breaking ball for a strike.
Two home runs for Yelich and 5 career at-bats against McGill. He lines one down.
And there goes the perfect game.
First base runner of the night. Yelich heads to second. Cannon's throw comes in, not in time. So after Scherzer retired the first 18, Yelich greets.
That's not a good start for McGill. First hit for the Brewers.
First pitch breaking ball for a strike and a fastball.
Down the middle with the fastball.
Belt away. And good hitting by Yelich. Getting on top of that ball.
Nito ain't the type of hitter you got to DH. You can't DH a catcher when you're going to run with 2 catchers.
It's the first time that a mid pitcher has had a pitch out of the stretch tonight.
Well, Nito might kill rallies, but he's batting over 300 with runners in scoring position. James McCann is not even batting over 100. All right. It's all about focus on the wins, guys. That's what we got to worry about here. And we got to get McGill going. He's going to be a big part of this bullpen.
Thomas fouls it off, 0-1. With Scherzer activated off the injured list to the end, McGill activated, Steven Dosick and Alex Claudio both optioned. Mets will have 2 more relievers coming off the injured list in the next few days. Drew Smith probably will be activated tomorrow.
Drew Smith might be back tomorrow,
And then
guys.
Michael Gibbons, who's been on the COVID IL, probably sometime later in the week. And to be frank, there are not a lot of obvious choices as to who goes when Smith and Gibbons come back. So
The Mets are going to have a lot of decisions to make in the bullpen on who's going to make the postseason roster.
I mean, do you take a left-hander with you? Or
I agree, Elliot.
just load up on the right side?
Come on. Good pitch. Listen, I don't know if Drew Smith's struggles before he went on the IL was because of the injury, because the first 2 months of the season, he was lights out. He was your bridge to Diaz. You know, was it the injury that made him pitch bad after that, before he went on the IL? We'll see. Because he's got really good stuff, Drew Smith. Come on, Tyler, let's go. Nice pitch, 1 out. 21-28. If you're worried about a perfect game, you're not looking at the longer pitcher. You got to look at the road ahead. It's more important to have Scherzer for the playoffs than to make him throw more than 70 pitches when he hasn't done that in 3 weeks. You can't do that. I don't care about a perfect game. I care about the W.
He has that potential. He's got a great arm.
Rowdy Tellez who flied out and grounded out.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
Takes fastball up and away, 97.
McGill's throwing hard,
As
97.
a starter, McGill's average fastball velocity hovered between 95 and 96, but he threw as hard as 99 early in games.
Location is always important for Tyler McGill.
Chasing 100. They told him to back off a little bit. But as a reliever, maybe he will be chasing that higher velocity. A lot
Nice
of
pitch.
pitchers would go from starting to the bullpen and see their velocity play up.
We just don't want to. You're gunning for that triple digit.
Yes, but a guy who hasn't pitched more than 75 pitches within the last month, you can't risk it. If he throws 90, if he throws a perfect game and he hurts himself next game because he threw too many pitches than he did in a month, then what you gonna say? Great, we got a perfect game. Now we don't have Scherzer for the playoffs. Can't risk it, especially with a 5-0 lead.
That make Trevor Williams' performance. He's been such an important piece for you all year, playing in multiple different roles.
It's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a difficult choice.
Or is McGill more of a short guy? Do you think of him as coming in and blowing people away for it?
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
He's going to get his opportunities here.
So it's all work in progress. Tellez drives left deep to right center field.
That's gone. Damn it. That was right over the plate. 5-2 Brewers. Mets, excuse me. Yet, Fanatic, they still get hurt. That was a pitch right over the middle of the plate.
So hold your horses.
That looked like a slider.
A hanging slider.
And that's a big, strong man right there when you throw it in his wheelhouse.
Now Hunter Renfroe. He flies one to shallow
Popped
right.
up. Should be 2 outs.
Under it. And that's the second out. So a leadoff double by Yelich. A 1-out, 2-run homer by Tellez to make it 5-2.
Oh yeah, of course, Jade. I mean, you know, I don't think I never like to think a game is over because, especially how bad bullpens are around the league, and the way offense is right now, it's weird. Like, how many times this year teams have blown big leads? A lot of teams have. Lugo was warming up again.
Scherzer finished up.
Popped it up.
By Wong, made the shallow center.
Somebody call it. There you go. All right. So McGill did give up a home run, but got the 2 runs and got out of the inning. Again, I wouldn't say great. Shaking off the cobwebs. He has been, I think the last time he pitched was late June. So, again, got to get it together. He got the stuff. He just got to find that location. Location is key for him. His fastball is very straight. So, if you don't locate, he's going to get hit. But the Mets still lead by 3 runs going to the top of the 8th. Mets need to, you always like to tack on more runs, but you got 2 innings to go here to get some more runs and get a ball game here and clinch a playoff, which is obviously the more important thing, not the perfect game, not the no-hitter, the W, the WWW. So once again, guys, Mets leading 5-2, going to the top of the 8th. Don't forget, if you haven't hit on that like button, please do. And once again, guys, if I put up a streaming schedule for the week, check on the community page for the last comment that I think it was the last comment, the second to last post over the last couple of days is the streaming schedule for this week. Check it out so you know when I'm going to go live. You don't have to ask or email or comment. You will know the stream. If anything changes, I will let you know on the community page on the post. So make sure. It's important also, guys, if you don't hit on that bell as well, so you get the notifications when I go live, when I post the video or when I post a stream and schedule the time, you'll get that notification when you hit on that notification bell. So make sure you do that when you subscribed. If you didn't hit that notification bell, please do. Well, Fanatic, you only care about the perfect game. You don't care about the win. That's the problem. The win's important. The perfect game means absolutely nothing for anybody. The perfect game is still 1 win. That's the way I see it. Would it have been fun? Absolutely. That would have been great. But it's not the most important thing. So we're going to the top of the 8. Alonso is going to be leading off. See if this can tack on a couple of runs with a 3-run lead. And they're showing the Alonso home run.
Change up. Down and in, not enough in. And right at next Pete's wheelhouse, nibbling down as he launches up. That is number 36 for Petey.
There you go, Ethan calling.
He will face the Long Island University product, Justin Topo, leading
LIU, Justin Topa, Long Island University product. Love it. Local.
Drafted by the Pirates out of LIU. Facing Alonso, leading off. And he takes inside ball.
Throws hard.
Topo pitching in just his 5th game for the Brewers this year.
Yeah, Roberto, with a 5-run lead, I can see you putting McGill in. I'm not going to go crazy on that call.
Independent ball played for the Rockland Boulders in the Canadian American League. That's the Rockland Boulders. There have only been 3 pitchers from LIU make it to the major leagues, but LIU produced a Hall of Famer in Larry Doby. Oh. Side gets 3-0 to Alonso.
Well, Fanatic, you got to remember,
Blackbird.
in the NLCS last year, dead arm, couldn't pitch. You don't want that in the playoffs for the Mets. Oblique injury twice this year. He's been out of – we missed 9 weeks of Scherzer this year.
Got the Mets started tonight.
Who knows how many more wins we would have had if Scherzer would have been pitching all year.
3-1 to Alonso, and he bounces to a foul. 3-2.
Back in the day, yes, but it's not back in the day. That's the problem. It's a totally different ballgame now. The money is astronomical now. You're not risking it. Look, I'm one who's old school who say pitch his ass, but you got to look at the new age of baseball. They don't do it. It's just
And that's inside.
ball four, lead off walk.
Alonso's out with the walk. So the Mets will lead off base runner in the 8th. So your Council's going to need a lot of bullpen tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a lot of these stupid injuries are, listen, I'm one to say go for it. But if this was April, maybe I would say, you know what? Let him go. Why not? But you just can't. You can't risk it because, great, you get the perfect game. He comes out next game and he grabs his oblique. Well, he's out for the year, and now you only got Jacob deGrom as your not that 1-2 big time aces that you would have in the playoffs. Lane, no, not tomorrow. Fanatic, I don't know if it's more the players more than it's the teams nowadays. They're protecting their asset. They're protecting their money. That's basically what it is nowadays. Come on, Bogey.
How can that be? They were the Blackbirds forever. They're the Sharks now. NYU Sharks. Like the Jets and the Sharks?
Yes. What's Side Story? Officer Muldoon.
Wow. You know who works for LIU? As their SID? Adam Rubin. Over Adam. The Mets for ages.
Actually, it was Officer Krupke.
Officer Krupke. Officer Krupke. Yep.
I was sitting in car 54 with Judy Muldoon. Two people. Car 54 Ferrari. Yes.
You're in the 8th inning. In Atlanta, with the Braves up 5-2 on the Nats.
Come on, Bogey.
The Mets are not going to get any help tonight. Trying to help themselves up 5-2 in the 8th. And the backdoor slider got Bogey. And they'll go back to it. So Toba has the first out of the 8th. They're at the standings in the National League East. Mets and Braves, even in the lost column, Mets have played 2 more games. Braves make one of those up on Thursday. They play 3 with the Nats, and then they go to Philadelphia for 4 starting on Thursday. So the schedule has tilted a bit in the Braves' favor this early part of the week. The Braves playing the Nats. There goes Alonso, and he steals
Alonso steals second base with 1 out.
Getting another huge jump. He did that yesterday as well.
Yes.
He was a walking lead and able to swipe it
Correct,
back without anybody paying attention. It's 5 of the year now for me.
That's just young Topa is not paying attention.
Someone needs to get his attention.
Come on, Mark.
Topa! Topa! They have 3 at the strike, and it's 0-2.
Officer Krupke.
Well, Nick, he didn't give up the hit. McGill did. Well, Nick, I mean, but again, he's coming off the IL. I don't think you understand that. Like, if you're worried about a no-hitter or a perfect game rather than the win itself, I don't know.
Yelich coming over, and he makes the catch for the second. Last time the Mets won a game here was May of 2018.
But Fanatic, you keep on going past that. We know that back in the day they used to do it. Nobody gave a damn. But they give a damn now. That's the difference. Like, you keep on, like, you haven't talked about the game yet. Talk about the game. It's 5-2. The Mets are winning. That's important.
Tripping. Stop playing. I don't think it's the ghosts.
No, I set up my bathroom, everything in order, like Ronnie told me. Toiletries, yes, toiletries, yeah, that's a better word. And everything was where I put it the night before. I woke up in the morning
For the first night.
but there's so many rooms.
Naquin up the middle. Base hit. That's a run. Come on, Pete, run. Safe. Yes. Tack on run right there. And Naquin gets the second on the throw. 6-2 Mets. Yes. Good tack on run there.
Well, they steal a run here. Ball up the middle. Naquin.
Let's go Mets chant from the fans in Milwaukee.
Topa's late backing up, and as a result, he fumbles the ball.
Pete didn't trip this time. That's nice. Pete slides so hard into home.
Walk Escobar intentionally. They're going to score an error.
Again, Nick, what does that have to do about you being older? You know what? I was around in 99 and 2000 when they used to go 7-8 innings without a problem. But baseball's not like that anymore. I don't know if you guys are watching the same game I'm watching, but they don't do that anymore. It just doesn't happen. If Scherzer wanted to stay in the game, he would have, right? He knows the perfect game means one win, just like a 6-2 victory means one win without a perfect game. If a perfect game meant 3 games, then leave him in, but it doesn't matter. It's still one win. Come on, Tomas. Steven, I am streaming on Wednesday for the finale of the series. But Steven, if you check my community page, I put up the schedule for everybody to check out for the week. Oh, launch angle. Let's not get into that. That's the stupidest stat I ever seen. Yes. 7-2. There we go. Scherzer didn't look pissed off, and Nick, it wasn't his decision. Scherzer looked really happy coming out of that game. And if you look at Scherzer, what do you think Scherzer concerns himself about? A perfect game, or the Mets winning and clinching a playoff berth? I don't know.
This would be depends. Possibly could be an unearned run with the advancement on the air and the Mets.
Fanatic, I agree with you. I think they're all a bunch of pussies nowadays. But it's more of the teams babying the players that turn the players into a pussy. And I think that's the bigger problem. Nick, thank you for the super sticker, buddy. I appreciate it.
Sure. Just suck. Go ahead. I'm not listening.
We have to get Keith's chair.
I feel right. It just sunk up. So
there's a little lever on the side.
Also, I wouldn't say necessarily that. It's the bigger problem nowadays is that they baby these players from the minors all the way up. The problem is the minor leagues, right? When you baby them in the minor leagues and you take them out after 60 pitches, 5 innings, when they do that their entire minor league career, and then when they come up to the majors, they don't know how to pitch 7 innings because they never done it. That's the problem. It's the teams that baby these freaking players, and that's why they act like babies.
where were we?
Nemo, nice play. Alrighty, that ends the inning, but the Mets tack on 2 more runs to make it 7-2. Tack on runs are always important, and that's what the Mets did. 7-2, going to the bottom of the 8th. Like to see it. Fanatic, man. I agree with you about that. They got everything. I mean, let's be honest. Back in the 70s and 80s, even the 90s. Well, not really the 90s, but mostly the 70s and 80s. Some of these guys had second jobs in the offseason. Like, look, the days of hard-nosed, I'm going out there no matter what attitude is gone. And it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'd love to have every pitcher go 8 innings and then bring out the closer, right? I would. It's just, do I like it? No. Do I think analytics is stupid? Yes. Do I think the shift is stupid? Yes. Do I think a player who can't hit against the shift and hit the ball the other way should be out of baseball? Yes. But look what baseball is doing. Oh, we're going to ban the shift because idiots on like a guy like Joey Gallo can't hit the ball the other way. Let's give them credit and help them out because they can't hit the other way. Right? It sucks. Yeah, and they don't do that anymore. That's the problem. And it's stupid. I agree, Derway. I agree 100%. With all the technology and with all the nutrition, the rehab, the therapy, just the exercise routine, they should have it. But James, you just said it. It's more about protecting their investment in assets than anything else. Listen, you don't want – look, you're paying Scherzer $43 million. He missed 9 weeks for the Mets. If he pitched 5 more weeks for the Mets this year instead of being out 9 weeks and only been out 4 weeks, maybe the Mets would have 3 or 4 more victories. You have to protect, at least nowadays, I guess, your assets, your investments. You know, guys in the 70s and 80s weren't making anything, right? Again, I don't think it was more – I think these players back then, they didn't give a damn if their finger hurt or their back hurt. They're going out there. Nowadays, every little thing. It sucks. But the Mets are winning 7-2. That's the most important thing.
Jeez.
Do you find that
Seth Lugo was in the ball
as you
game
get
for the
older,
Mets.
these things tend to happen more?
Well, you get a little more clumsy.
I mean, you were always so adept at being in control of your movements. And
It's a little disconcerting.
you're an 11-time Gold Glover. I understand. But you're able to hit a round ball with a cylindrical bat and hit a square.
Nick,
That's
Carrasco's pitching tomorrow, and for the Brewers, it's still to be determined.
And now you're falling out of your chair. I don't think that's a good development. So Lugo pitching to Andrew McCutcheon as we start at the bottom of the 8th. Now, were you able to raise the chair between innings?
You did.
You found the lever for you, but do you know where it is now? In case
I
this happens
do,
again?
but I know how it's down low. That's on my heel. But forget it. It's just a game.
McCutcheon takes the ball down, and it's 2-2. Well, the point I was trying to make when you sidetracked this with your furniture issues.
Fanatic, I agree with all of that. Like I said, I don't agree with what they do nowadays. Look, pitch, play every day. I think,
strike hitters out.
And that's a base hit through the hole. Fanatic, I agree. I agree.
Not paying any attention to him, allowing Alonso to steal second
Shoot.
base, that entire inning in motion for 2 runs to score.
Yes.
If he holds the runner
Nick,
on,
it doesn't matter what the Braves do, buddy. The Mets win, that's one step closer to a division title. That's all that matters. One game less off the schedule for both teams. That's what matters, buddy.
And in a 5-2 ball game, you're
Come on.
3 runs down. You're in the hunt.
It's Jace Peterson. 2 for 2. He takes a fastball below the knees, ball 1.
Fanatic, me too.
This bullpen is 6 outs away from securing Max Scherzer's 200th career win.
The playoff berth is nice, guys.
Postseason berth for the Mets. That's driven a deep right by Peterson. That goes making.
All right, Tyler, nice catch.
So Naquin retreats to make the grab to retire.
Well,
Peterson
right wing, you know what? They're not resting anybody because they clinch a playoff berth, but you still got to win that division. And the Mets actually said it.
Thursday as the Mets head out to the West Coast for the last time in the regular season. 3 in Oakland before they come home for 2 with the Marlins and then go to Atlanta for that big series.
All right, so 1 out, 1 on, 7-2 Mets, bottom of the 8th.
Finish up the year against the Nationals. Caratini takes curveball.
Listen, baseball changed when you have people going crazy about on-base percentage, and they don't care about average, and they're more concerned about WAR than they are about a guy. When you watch him every day, you can clearly see what's important and how a player plays. Freaking Titans are terrible. Eagles are looking good against the Vikings 24/7. Come on, Ted. Come on, Seth.
So on top of things, struggling to
What, Joe? Cheat?
Came in yesterday behind DeGrom, hit Brian Reynolds, and then retired the next three hitters. So we're working back-to-back days. Remember also that he was up in the sixth inning when Scherzer went out for his final inning, which really up that entire inning. And
Screw,
Scherzer was taken
they're
out,
getting
they
it.
got McGill ready for his baptism as a relief pitcher, and now Lugo have to get up again to come in the eighth.
That's
Guaranteed
a
flies
pop
one
up.
to shallow left. And
Should be
Cameron
2
should
outs,
have to
and it
slide
is.
up. 2 out. So 2 out. McCutcheon still at first. Watch live Ben's games, SNY programming, and original content anytime, anywhere, on any device.
Right
with
wing,
the
I
SNY
agree.
app,
Like I said,
presented by CarShield. Scan the code.
obviously on base percentage is obviously walks, hits, and all that getting on base. Obviously, we know that. But again, you can't bring up a stat on base percentage for a guy like
So 2 out. McCutcheon still at first.
Vogelback, who the Mets got not to just get on, not to get on base, to drive runs in. He did that today. That's what I care about. Give me RBIs every day of the week. But a walk with 2 outs and the Mets winning by 2 runs, that's okay. But if you're not going to pitch run for him, he's basically a doormat on the bases. That's the problem. I love Vogie. Come on, how can you not like a guy that looks like an everyday guy? You know what I'm saying? But still, you know, there was a guy, Yippee, a week and a half ago, who was like, Vogelback is on base percent better than Trout and Alonso. Like, what does that mean? That means he's a better player? No. So the Nationals lost to the Braves. Mets take care of business. There'll still be 1 game up on the Braves.
For a strike, and it's 1-2.
Let's go set.
Yelich would be next. 1-2 to Mitchell. Curveball. Just missed.
Just outside.
2-2.
Curved around the plate. Tried to back.
Well, delay. They're looking on 5 in a row if they win. Yeah, you don't bat a number 5 hitter to get on base for just looking for on base and walks. Like, you don't.
2-2 from Lugo. And Mitchell goes
Got
down
him.
swinging. Side retired.
Got him. Alrighty, 7-2. Mets going to the top of the 9th with a 5-run lead. Seth Lugo shuts the door. Braves did win 5-2 if you're just tuning in. Mets win, keep the 1-game lead, and that is 1 day and 1 game less off the schedule. So what are you doing? Knocking down the days. Keep winning. Keep winning. Yeah, Joe, we talked about this. Seth Lugo, ever since the Yankee series in the second half, right after the All-Star break, Seth Lugo has been money. Yeah, he's gave up a couple of home runs here and there, but he's been one of our better bullpen arms besides Edwin Diaz. Ottavino has been good. I still don't know if I can trust Ottavino because I've seen him in big games with the Yankees, with the Red Sox, and he struggled. But he's been good this year, so I'm not going to kill him. So, you know, until he can't do it in the big spot with a Mets uniform, I have to think that he can do it at the moment because he's been good. You know, who knows what McGill's going to do in the bullpen, or Peterson, or May, or Givens. You know, the Mets have a lot of decisions to make. They got a lot of relievers or guys that can be in the bullpen. You know, maybe you pick your guys on the roster for the bullpen based on your opponent. I think that would probably be best. You know, if a team has a ton of right-handers and not a lot of left-handed hitters, maybe you'll leave a Joely Rodriguez off and leave David Peterson in the bullpen and go with another righty in the bullpen as well. We'll see. Scoop, until the Mets are out of it, I don't root for anybody else. That's always been my rule. I don't root for anybody because the other second team you root for could bite you in the ass in the playoffs. Like I said, I think the Guardians are a good story. It would be cool to see. It would be even more fun if they can beat the Yankees, which would always be fun. But I look at it as until the Mets are out of it, and I wouldn't say I have a rooting interest. If the Mets are out of it, I would like to see, an underdog team, for the most part, I don't like the Astros, so, I wouldn't say I was rooting for the Braves, but I didn't want to see the Astros win. All right, here we go. Top of the night. Peter Strzelecki is in the game for the Brewers. Lindor leading off.
First pitch fastball in for a strike to Francisco Lindor. So the Mets are 3 outs away from clinching the 10th postseason berth in their 61-year history. They still have a bigger prize to play for in this regular season, with 13 games to go after today. Certainly the division title is very
I never think a division winner is an underdog, to be honest with you. Like, all right, the Cardinals will probably be underdogs against the Mets, the Braves, the Dodgers.
Winning your 94th game is an enormous accomplishment. And
But
Walters pointed that out today.
no, Ken, I agree with you. But again, you got a Seth Lugo has he pitched in the postseason? I don't think so. Diaz hasn't. Ottavino has, and he struggled. But looking at it right now, you got to go and trust in those guys. 1 out. James, I think it's going to depend on the situation. In a short series, you might not need Cookie or Walker. Walker might be off the division series roster. You might use Cookie in a game 4. Well, it really depends on the situation, to be honest.
So they had very low-key acknowledgments of clinching a postseason berth.
I think the Cards are always dangerous. They always find a way to make some noise in the playoffs.
Whether it's tonight, tomorrow, the next day, whatever day it is that they do clinch a postseason berth.
I have a feeling it's going to be low-key, that this club has matured, and it's going to climatic. They're going to be in the postseason.
Right. But that's always the case when you clinch. Right. That was before the last couple of days.
But there's more work to be done. And I just really feel, like I said earlier, with what happened last year, with the Mets in first place for so long, and then to fall off the cliff, and they're not going to fall off the cliff this year. I just think it's really important that they send that message to the Braves, and I think their focus is on winning the division, and then they can pour the champagne.
What if they don't?
They don't.
I mean, I know this thing is basically dead even, right? I mean, the Mets have a slight advantage on the Braves in that if they win tonight, they'll be a game up, and if they win one of the games in Atlanta, they'll have the tiebreaker.
Cards have been hot
because they lead
sure.
the season series against the Braves. But it's anything but a given. It's going to come right down to the wire.
Ball
but
four?
It's a ball 4 to McNeil, and that 3 hole is getting on base big time. You just don't know. We still are a ways out from that series in Atlanta. You don't know what's going to happen in between.
Right, so I'm wondering why would they deprive themselves of the celebration of a major accomplishment, even though, again, I mean, if you celebrate the division, you still have the postseason. If you celebrate winning the wild card series, you still have the division series. There were always more goals until you win the World Series. So I don't know. This is the first time the Mets have ever been in this circumstance,
right,
where they're clinching a postseason berth without clinching a division. The last time when they got in against the Phillies was the second to last day of the season, and they squeaked into the wild card. And it was a big celebration because it was a big deal.
I just was never in that situation because when I played, when you clinch the division.
Right, there was no wild card.
And I just feel that there's more important work ahead. They can certainly go in there and and celebrate being in a. It's a tough question. It's difficult.
I'll tell you what the Astros did. They went in their clubhouse and they had, I don't know if it was champagne or some other spirits, and they poured it in glasses, not on each other, and they had a toast. And maybe that's what the Mets will decide to do. They'll have their celebration, but it won't be a spilling champagne all over each other with plastic sheeting and goggles. It'll be more subdued than that.
And they can celebrate for Max his 200th victory.
That's a big deal as well.
And I just feel, Gary, too, though I know it looks like it's going to be win number 94. They're 6 away from 100. 100 is a magic plateau for a team. It's very prideful to win 100 games, and they certainly got their sights on that.
2-2 to Alonso was the big hit tonight. He flies this one to shallow right.
That ball might drop.
Quickly is Redford.
Nice
He makes the
catch.
catch, throw back to first, and McNeil gets back safely. 2 out. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, Brewers will have the top of the batting order. Yelich, Adames, and Tellez coming up, and it looks like Adam Ottavino is going to get.
Adam Ottavino warming up to pitch tonight for the Mets with most likely a 5-run lead.
Pickups in spring training, and boy, what a pickup that was. Getting a veteran reliever, I just thought that was terrific when the Mets acquired him late in spring. And boy, he has been the workhorse.
He had some bobbles early in the season, but he really settled in as that primary setup man.
He has been the workhorse.
I remember early in the season when Drew Smith was pitching so well, Smith had kind of overtaken Ottavino as that 8th inning guy. Drew should be coming back off the injured list tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what the Mets can get out of him coming down the stretch.
That'll be,
Welcome return. Roll back at an RBI double back in the 6th. Remember last time the Mets clinched on our hair was in 2015. You and I were in Cincinnati.
yes.
They clinched the NL East. 16, we didn't get to do that clincher. It was a Fox game that day. Might have a similar experience in Atlanta.
Yes, it might.
0-2 to Vogelbach. Take it outside 1-2. The 3-game series in Atlanta. We'll be doing the Friday game, but Fox has taken the Saturday game and ESPN the Sunday game.
I kind of had a hunch they were going to do that to us. Those games would be of utmost importance.
1-2, and Vogelbach takes inside. Boy, that'll be fun. I mean, Mets Braves has been just a great rivalry to watch this year. The Mets took 4 out of 5 in the series in New York, but then the Braves took 3 out of 4 in Atlanta the last time they got together. 2-2 coming. And
Vogelbach strikes out to end the inning.
That's it.
Mets are going to the bottom of the ninth with a 7-2 lead. Adam Ottavino is coming into the game to close out the victory for the Mets and to clinch a playoff berth for the first time since 2016 for the Orange and Blue. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button one last time before the game is over. And once again, guys, if you want to check the streaming schedule for this week, it is on the community page. All you got to do is check it out. And you'll see when I'm streaming, a couple of Met Talk Live, a couple of streams. It's about 4 or 5 streams during this next week. So you're going to see a lot of me. That will be bringing it down to about 8 or 9 games left in the season. Obviously, the Mets got 2 more with the Brewers. Then go to Oakland. In between that is a day off with the Brewers in Oakland. So the Mets got, after today, 13 games. And once again, guys, you're allowed to celebrate getting the playoff berth. You know, it's been a while for Mets fans. It's important. You know, you get to the playoffs, you got a chance to win, no matter if you're a wild card team, the last wild card team, or the best team in baseball record-wise. Doesn't matter. All that matters is making the playoffs. You know, Major League Baseball's playoffs has been a lot like the NHL playoffs. You make the playoffs, anybody can win. We've seen that over the last couple of years, right? Nationals, right? Last wild card team in. 2020, 60-game season, but Dodgers were technically the best team in baseball. They won, right? Last year, the Braves, 88 wins, winning the division. Nobody expected them to win the World Series. They did. You know, so anybody makes the playoffs, anybody can win, right? So make the playoffs, anything can happen. That's why I think baseball nowadays is more of a. That's why it's so much. I think baseball. I don't like the way the game is played as much anymore, and the stupid analytics. But you can't go wrong. You can't really say that there's more teams that have opportunities to win now because of the extra wildcard teams, or just in general, right? One team gets hot, like the Nationals did in 2019. Big difference, right? What happens? How hot they get, right? Ninth inning, Ottavino on the mound, closing it out.
Adam Ottavino trying to close this one out, and Christian Yelich fouls one back. I just got a text from Ethan Wilson, who is such a stalwart of the Mets media relations department. He reminded me that the Mets have actually had this situation once before. In 2000, the Mets were behind the Braves in the division race and clinched the postseason berth, but did not celebrate because the division race was still up for grabs. As it turned out, they didn't win the division, but they got to the postseason. They beat the Diamondbacks, and they celebrated for the first time.
Well, I mean, you put Diaz in this spot anyway.
The series was over. So there you go. It has happened before. Thank you, Ethan. Yelich had the first hit for the Brewers tonight, an opposite field double against Tom McGill in the seventh. After Scherzer had thrown 6.
Ottavino has been good. Let's hope that he takes that good season for the Mets and bring it into the postseason. Because he's been damn good this season for us.
Appearances, that ERA is 2.01, sparkling on that TV screen.
The final 2 outs on Saturday against the Pirates. Yelich just went hard down the line. That's a fair ball. It hits the giant stands and sticks. Yelich will go to second, and he'll stop there.
Lead off double 4.
So Yelich about double the
Brewers.
seventh. This one pulls one down the line for a leadoff double on the ninth.
Boy, that's an odd little carom right there.
With Willie Adames. He's been up 3 times, has struck out all 3. He started the day with a 9-game hitting streak, the hottest center in the lineup for Milwaukee, but he's been held in check. And he takes below the knees, ball 1. Double for Yelich was just the 4th Milwaukee hit of the night. He has half of them. Adames pulls one foul. Oh, nice grab.
The ball boy is here, playing well, man. All right.
I tell you.
The Phillies should sign both of them.
Down the right field line, and now he's sizzling one hopper grab by the ball 2 down the left field line.
Nice play. Look at him. By the long hop. There's no call. Well done.
1-1 to Adames. Bounces that sinker foul.
All right, 1-2. Come on. Let's go. Adam. No, Danny, he's been great this year for sure. But, again, Boston and the Yankees, look at his postseason track record. It's not good. Again, hopefully that changes for us. Because, obviously, we need him.
1-2 coming. Fly ball, center field. Dibble coming on.
1 out.
1 out.
There we go.
So Adames retired. And Ottavino has the first out of the ninth. And let him bring up Ronnie Tellez.
2 more outs, guys. 2 more outs.
Rowdy Tellez with a 2-run homer off Tyler McGill in the 7th inning. The only 2 Milwaukee runs tonight is 32nd of the year. Yelich at second and 1 out. Tellez takes a fastball for a strike, 0-1.
Danny, again, I'm not talking about this year. This year, let's hope he brings it into the playoffs for us because he's been one of our better relievers other than Diaz for sure. All year, not just half the year, all year. Nice pitch.
Nito throwing to second. It was not covering. Well, it was an interesting thought by Tomas. The page was not quite turned to the same flag lines.
That was interesting.
Tomas, I've played every game this year, just about. Got a 5-run lead here.
Oh, okay, then my fault.
0-2 to Tellez. Runner takes off. Pitch is high. Yelich takes third. They call that a defensive indifference. 2016 was the last time the Mets made the postseason. It was also the last time Buck Showalter made the postseason.
Huh.
How about that?
Interesting.
Was the wild card in 2016. 1-2. In the dirt, knocked down by Nito. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think the umpire blocked out. Whatever works. Got a little bump from my friends.
Field back, of course, with a 5-run lead in the 9th.
Come on, Adam.
Tellez at the plate, Renfroe on deck.
Look, challenge him. You got a 5-run lead. You can't walk anybody in.
2-2 coming. And Tellez
Got
goes
him.
down, swinging on the slider.
2 outs.
2-man down.
1 more out.
And so the Mets are 1 out away from clinching their way into October.
Let's go Mets chance for Mets fans. Got to remember, this is a big deal for a lot of these guys. The Nimos, the Alonsos, the McNeils. These guys never made the playoffs as a Met so far. You know, it's important to them. You know, Nito, all those guys.
From the batter. 0 for 3 tonight. Takes cutter off the plate for ball 1.
Come on.
Renfroe swings through the high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Come on, Adam.
Now the 1-1.
1 strike away.
And now the Brewers are down to
Come
their
on.
final strike.
And SOY blacks out. Okay, there we go. We're back.
1-2 from Ottavino to Renfroe. Off the corner of the slider, 2-2. Renfroe keeps it going. Colton Baum would be next. A lot of Met fans have made their way to Milwaukee all on their feet. Hoping Ottavino can get the final strike.
Come on.
2-2. He struck him out, and the ball game is over.
Playoff bound, baby.
First time since 2016, the 2022 New York Mets will be going to the postseason. postseason berth in franchise history. And along the way,
There we go.
Scherzer
Good job,
takes
guys.
his victory
There's some fireworks for you guys.
as the Mets win their 94th game in 2022.
There we go.
And they have clinched at least a wild card. 13 games to go. A 1 game lead in the National League East. And
Have a great night.
for at least
Alrighty, guys. So the Mets with a convincing 7-2 victory against Milwaukee. That was a dominant performance that you need that you wanted to see. 5-game winning streak for the Mets. Mets beat the Brewers 7-2, clinched their first playoff berth since 2016. That is great, and Mets fans enjoy it. All right, first playoff appearance for Alonso, first for McNeil, first for Nima. Many other guys that I'm probably forgetting, but nice to see. They're celebrating, regularly. Hugging, having the high five line, Buck with the smile on his face. They're gonna be subdued. They're gonna celebrate a little bit, but they're gonna be subdued. Really nice to see. Again, when you're a Mets fan, you don't see this a lot. You gotta enjoy it. All right, 60 years of Mets baseball, you gotta enjoy it. Absolutely have to do it. Let's listen in, see what they're talking about. Nice hugs for Buck. Listening, guys.
Buck Showalter, his first postseason berth since 2016, the same year that the Mets last appeared.
Great job. Mets fans are right there cheering. Listen up,
The Mets
guys.
are hoping for something more substantial this year. The National League Eastern Division crown still very much on their minds. A 1-game lead with 13 games to go. But the Mets, by winning their 5th straight game, have punched their ticket into the postseason tournament.
There you go. Mets fan with the playoff bound sign.
Let's go
Pretty
down
cool.
the field to Steve Jones. Steve?
Gary standing by with the 3-4 hitters for most of this season, over 200 RBIs combined on the year. Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso. Guys, congratulations. Francisco, I'll start with you. I know it's the first of what you hope is many steps forward here, but what is this accomplishment? What is this feeling like clinching the playoff berth?
First of all, God is good. I'm really proud of everyone, the boys, everyone that contributed this year with the guys that were up and down. And just, I came here to try to be in the postseason and try to win championships. This is the first step. Last year we were out of it. Right here, we saw them celebrate, and to come back today and to clinch a spot. We understand this is not the end goal, but it's part of our destiny. And to be in the postseason, you got to make it. So I'm just blessed. I thank the good Lord and my team. I'm just really proud of my teammates and the front office.
Pete, your first 3 seasons, you were part of some talented teams, some really good moments, good runs, but you never quite get over that hump. Now heading to the postseason for the first time. What was different about this team, and what's your excitement level?
I mean, our chemistry is unparalleled. We have a really great group of guys, and it's just really special how much we care about each other.
Hearing the Mets fans in the background.
We had talent,
Pretty cool.
But I feel like that the personnel we have complements each other in the best way. So we're able to go out there, compete. Doesn't always have to look pretty, but we do a really good job of competing night in, night out. And this is what it's all for. It's what it's all about.
Guys, congratulations on being told that you got to go in and have maybe a subdued celebration, but the first of what I know you hope for many celebrations. Congrats again, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso.
Thank you. Can't wait to go grind with you.
Thank you. LFG up. Thanks.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thanks very much, Steve, and thanks to Francisco and Pete, and thanks to all these Mets fans who have
Good job. Good job.
crowded around the Mets dugout. They have made this team feel very, very welcome here. Very much like in Cincinnati in 2015 with the Mets clinched, and it seemed like.
Alrighty, guys. So there you go. You heard the comments from Lindor. They're talking to Nimmo right now. Lindor said, we know that this is only the first step. And what he said, we talked about this. This is what he said. He says, you can't win it if you don't make it. That's the key right there. Doesn't matter how you make it. It's where you finish. And that's the most important thing. Again, step 1, making the playoffs. Right? We know we're in no matter what. Lose 13 in a row, we're the last wildcard team. Again, probably not going to happen. But the point is, you make the playoffs, you have an opportunity to win. That's the most important thing. That's number 1. Number 2, Lindor said it. We know we got better things to look at. We know we're we're not finished yet. We got more to do. That's obviously, he's talking about the division. Again, one more game off the schedule. 15 more games for the Braves, 13 for the Mets. By the end of the week, with days off, the Braves are going to be having the same amount of games as the Mets. So it's all going to come down. I think it's going to come down. Remember, the Phillies looked like complete crap against the Braves in the last series, but they are going to Philadelphia now for very soon. So that series is going to probably determine, and the Mets in Oakland is going to determine how many games whichever team is up going into that series in Atlanta for the second to final series of the year for the Mets and the Braves. So we'll see what happens, but celebrate the playoff berth, Mets fans. We don't get a lot of these. Take advantage of the celebration. Again, you can have a shot, you might pop a little champagne. You can enjoy it. But there's bigger goals, the division, the NLDS, NLCS, and then World Series. That's the most important thing. Yeah, but you know what? The Braves are just going to be that wild card team that is going to probably have to play the Phillies or the Padres, depending on what's going to happen. But that's okay. It's all right. The important thing is the Braves' necks. Like, have you noticed the Braves' necks have been hurting this year, like all year? Because they've been looking at the Mets all year up and say, we haven't looked down at you all year. Braves fans can continue to troll. The Braves can continue to play narco, and they can keep on trolling. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who's going to be better in the playoffs. We don't know because it hasn't been written yet. But at the end of the day, the Mets make the playoffs, and the Braves win tomorrow, and the Mets beat the Brewers. The Braves are officially in the playoffs as well. They get the playoff berth as well. But a lot more to do. But it was a really nice win, a convincing victory tonight. Mets fans, enjoy this. We don't get a lot of these in the last 60 years, or however old you are. Again, I've seen the Mets make the playoffs, the World Series twice in my lifetime. Lost both of them. I've seen the playoffs 4 or 5 times in my lifetime. So it's always fun to make it, but a lot more to do. 13 games to go, guys. Once again, guys, Mets 7, Brewers 2. Mets clinch a playoff berth. Remember, no live stream tomorrow, guys. I'll be live streaming Wednesday for the Game 3 of the series against the Brewers, and then Mets Talk Live on the off day on Thursday. So once again, Mets 7, Brewers 2, playoff bound. Enjoy your night, guys. Let's go Mets, and see you next time, guys.
Let's take a look.